first series win of the year.
Okay, including upcoming dates in the Northeast. Check out DylanScottCountry.com for all the tour dates, merchandise, and so much more for our country star, Kevin Kovac. And thanks again to Dylan for providing our anthem. This town has been too good to us. Speaking of towns that have been too good to us, you are looking at one of them right now. Tiny Rossburg, Ohio, home to Eldora Speedway. Population just over 200 people, but at least twice a year, that population swells to 20,000 with the two biggest events on the Dirt Late Model calendar in the Dream and the World 100. Tonight we kick off the 32nd Dream Week with FloRacing Night in America at the famous half mile in Western Ohio. I am Michael Rigsby coming to you live from the Infield Media Center once again at Eldora Speedway. And I'm excited because normally Kevin Kovac and I are doing this remotely, but I've got him in the flesh with me tonight, which is very exciting. Kevin, Arizona starts the season. Speed Week sort of gets the rhythm to the year going, but I really feel like until you get to the Dream, this is the moment where I feel like Dirt Late Model Racing has arrived for the year.
Yeah, the Show Me 100 a couple of weeks ago, that kind of takes me into the summer. But then when I make this drive every year through Pennsylvania to Ohio, coming out here to Eldora, and then I turn down the street and then I see all those campers. I mean, that gets everything going, that's for sure.
The Dream takes center stage starting tomorrow night. 3 nights of the Dirt Late Model Dream, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But now for the 4th year in a row, we kick off Dream Week with FloRacing Night in America. I think a lot of people wondered, would this work schedule-wise? I feel like it's fit quite nicely, quite snugly into the Dream Week. And I think as far as events goes on our calendar, I might love it more than I love any other the entire season.
And it gets, because the new format with the Dream, one night off for everybody, you split the fields. And so this gives everybody a shot to just get right into it, especially when the weather's like this. I mean, it's like perfect. There's barely clouds. It's 80 degrees. Everyone you see, you can feel how good everyone feels when the weather's like this.
It is no chance of rain at all for the next 3 nights. We'll worry about Saturday when we get to it. One thing you know you're going to get when you come to Eldora Speedway, be it for a big sprint car race or a dirt late model race, is one class of cars and one class of cars only. So it's going to be a pretty snappy night. Let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule of events for what we have tonight. One class of cars, 81 checked in right now, Kevin Kovac. Start with hot laps, followed by time trials, heat races that are 10 laps long, B-mains that are 12, and our $20,000 to win 50-lap feature later tonight. Bobby Pierce, of course, your winner last year in this event. Kevin, when you look at that, how much does Kevin Kovac love one-class nights? I know the answer to this, but I want to hear you say it to our fans.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, that's like the perfect show. It just feels like there's no JV, there's no rookie class. I mean, we just go right into it. Everything's on one division.
Yeah, so this show will be snappy tonight. Like you said, the split fields the next 2 nights of the Dream, only 40 cars each night, so those will be even quicker. It would probably be easier for us to say who's not racing than who is racing tonight, just because the stars are out. Remember, Kevin, back in the day when you go to Las Vegas and they'd have the boxing matches and they'd show all the Hollywood celebrities that were there. That's what I feel like when I'm reading off the Dream roster tonight. Let's take a look at some of the guys that will be competing. It is a who's who of dirt late model racing. Like I said, 81 drivers will be competing tonight, Kevin. No surprise, it's the best of the best in the entire sport. Ricky Thornton Jr., Ryan Gustin, Bobby Pierce, Brandon Shepard, Carson Hocevar, back in that Chili's car, Kevin. Where would you rate him as far as the NASCAR rising stars? I think Carson's certainly making a name for himself.
Well, yeah, he was at the Met Gala, right? Not too long
right.
ago. What NASCAR driver's been to that? So yeah, he's really making a name for himself. You can see the popularity building.
There is no one in the history of motorsports, maybe on the planet, forget motorsports, that's gone from the Met Gala to Spoon River Speedway the next night. I promise you that's never happened. Josh Rice coming off that big win for $30,000 last year. I believe, producer Tiffany, we have another page here of guys that are competing tonight. We don't have another page, but Kevin, just trust me when I tell you, the best of the best are here, the entire sport. We've only had one, and there's the Carson Hocevar Chili's car, Ride the Dente, right there. They got new shirts out this week. We've only had one FloRacing Night in America event. We got horrible weather luck when things started for Illinois Speed Weeks. But Kevin, you and I talked about this, a great aerial shot of Eldora there. our top 10 in points as we look at that now. Talk about a who's who. This is just an unbelievable top 10 after one event. Brandon Shepard, Hudson O'Neal, Bobby Pierce, Tyler Erb, fresh off that $100,000 victory at Mansfield. Devin Moran, Nick Hoffman, speaking of $100,000 victories at Mansfield. Brandon Overton, Tanner English, Shannon Babb, and Kyle Bronson. For a 10-race mini-series, Kevin, that's as good as it's going to get with point standings right there.
You got the top guys on both national tours, and then you got Tanner English, you got Shannon Babb, some top regional guys also like mixed right in there. What a good mixture of drivers.
And we are going to be able to make up the 2 rained-out events that we had, and we'll take a look at that schedule right now. We still will get in all 11 events that we scheduled at the beginning of the year. As we're able to make up the Lincoln event, that now becomes part of the Parade Dirt Classic week. And LaSalle, that between Eldora and Knoxville run there on September 15th. So in total, we'll still have 11 events. Kovac, new track this year in Mason City Motor Speedway up there in Iowa. In Lincoln Park, one of Ricky Thornton Jr.'s favorite tracks. Awesome racetrack there in Putnamville, Indiana. Kind of a cross-section of half miles, quarter miles, bull rings. You got it all on this schedule.
I like the rescheduled Lincoln before Fairbury, too. I mean, it's like another Illinois Speed Week right there.
It is.
And you have the one party night in between at Fairbury, with the band. So I think everyone should just, make sure they try to get to that one.
A lot of campers will be already on site for the Parade Dirt Classic. I've already heard from about 100 people who will be taking a bus, 2 buses from Fairbury down to Lincoln that night so they can watch Heat 2, 3, and 4 and the remainder of that event at Lincoln Speedway. But as I said again, all 11 events we should get in this year. Again, wrapping up at Sonoya Raceway November 13th and 14th with the Peach State Classic. Kevin and I are going to step away and take our first break. Look at that, Kevin. Kids involved in the sport absolutely love it. Much to get in the next hour. Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett join us live. And we've got Hudson O'Neal on set with Mike Norris. Has got a few drivers as well as the countdown towards Hot Laps at Eldora is on. You're watching FloRacing Night in America live from the Big E.
can see Fry working the low groove, Bloomquist up high. And now there's contact between 66 Fry and 0 Bloomquist. Bloomquist continues. Fry is spun in the turn.
When you do this as long as I have, you do your best to not repeat things. Hey, I can't show that video over and over, but as long as I'm breathing, I'm not sure I'll ever not show the Scott Bloomquist, Bill Fry Dream 1997 melee. For me, a top 10 Eldora moment of all time. Kevin, imagine if that event happened now in the social media world we live in. Bloomquist takes out Fry. Fry retaliates on the front stretch. What would Twitter and Facebook look like if that happened right now?
Could you imagine all the people like running up to the stands right there, and all the phones that would be up in the air taking? I mean, there would be all kinds of videos immediately, right moments after that happening. And by the way, every time I see that though, can we get a spot shadow on Barry Rigsby? I always think of you telling me the story how he was running up to the stands at that point.
Yeah, for those of you
this fence.
For those of you that don't know, in that video, there's a guy dressed in all denim who's running down to the scale area. That's my father, who was. I turned around to my seat, Kevin, and he wasn't there anymore, and he was running down to the fence.
He was pumped.
Yeah,
he was pumped for that, right?
One of the many great Scott Bloomquist moments here. Michael Rigsby and Kevin Kovac, of course, back live at the Dream from the Eldora Infield Media Center. I want to touch on Scott Bloomquist real quick, Kevin. Not with us anymore, obviously. And listen, Eldora would have been Eldora with or without Scott, I think. But I do think Scott was an ingredient in the soup or the stew that took Eldora to another level, right? If I had to think about the top 10 Eldora moments of my life, Scott's probably 7 of them, right? Even No Green Light, he's involved in some capacity. Window Net, Bill Fry. I think you would agree with that there won't be a time I come here and don't think about him and the indelible impact he left on this facility.
Oh, I walk through the pits here, and I walk over by the scales, and I could see him tearing away, after the No Green Light. I walk over to turn 4, and I see in myself waiting to interview him after that time when he went to the rear and comes back to the win in the World 100. And I see him so many times in here sitting and talking to him. And my last interview, too, I remember the last time I interviewed him, after he flipped over in turn 3 and walked up onto his trailer. I'd never been on his trailer before to interview him and talk to him up there. It's just there's no spot in this pit area where you can go and not think of Scott Bloomquist.
And his affection for the place, right? Like, we all love Eldora, but that's the thing. He didn't put on, he loved Eldora. Jonathan Davenport loves it. Scott might have loved it more. And I think it's nice when a guy, for all of Scott's quirks, and he had many of them, he loved Eldora Speedway, Kevin.
Yeah, there wasn't it right up here with the interview a few years ago, the letters to Eldora.
Yeah, that's right.
When he read his thing and did his interview. And
beautiful.
I mean, you could just see, you could sense how much he loved this place. And it was what did he kind of say? Something like, there's no place like it.
Yeah, and he's 100% right about that. Calling the action all night from the Horsepower Hydration Tower will be my 2 great friends, and Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett. Guys, year 4 of FloRacing Night in America at Eldora. It's hard to believe, Ben and DJ, but we are back again.
Well, we're back, and something we haven't always had for this show, DJ, is we've got sunshine. It is a beautiful day, and, 82 cars in the pit area, 85 cars a year ago tonight, and just all that you can ask for to kick off such a big week at such a special racetrack.
And we've had, 4 different FloRacing Night in America events here at Eldora. 4 different winners. 2 of them, no surprise, right, with Bobby Pierce last year, Jonathan Davenport 2 years ago, and the 2 winners before that, Ben.
I know Kyle Larson won it the first year. Who won it in year 2?
Mike Marlar.
Mike Marlar.
Yeah,
Mike Marlar won.
Mike Marlar won, yeah. So we're looking to go 5 for 5 in winners. And let's also not be remiss to think about the fact that really and truly, when you look back at the history of FloRacing Night in America at Eldora, it has had 0 impact on who's gone on to win the Dirt Late Model Dream. There's no trends.
It doesn't. You say that, maybe for who wins, but you got to wonder, track time here is so important. Do you learn something tonight that helps you the rest of the weekend? And there's Mike Marlar, winner a few years ago here. I think the big thing is it's track time at Eldora. And it's also, tonight's only 50 laps, but it gives you things toward the 100-lapper on Saturday. These cars change so much. Something that I really enjoyed today, watching the tech line.
6 minutes. Yep.
Watching the tech line today,
5 or 6 minutes.
We had the Lucas Oil staff. We had staff from FloRacing Night in America. We had staff from the World of Outlaws, Dirt Car, Mars, Southern and Spring Nationals. It's cool to see all these different, people from the different series work together on tech. There was a lot of changes made on these race cars today. And DJ, we've got some new penalties in place. These drivers went through tech. They know where their car's got to be the rest of the weekend. If they line up for qualifying and their car is out of the tolerance for what they went through tech today, they're going to have to go to the back of the line. They're going to get one lap. The best they can start in a heat race is fourth. If they show up for a heat race, a B main, or a feature and their car's out of tolerance, they back up 2 rows from where they would have started. The thing that's happening, sometimes these cars get Miracle Grow on them after they go through tech. They get wider.
That never happens.
Yeah, the decks get higher. The nose might get a little closer to the ground. So there's a lot of things, a lot of efforts being made, and it's a concerted effort. But yeah, the teams had to make some changes, but overall everybody was very positive, and I think it's good for those drivers to see that you got all these different series working together.
You nailed it, man. It's good for the series. Number one, it's good for the drivers. Listen, everybody's got a sandbox they got to play in, and they want you to play in it, and that is good for the sport moving forward as well. And I don't care if you're the best national driver in the country or if you're a weekend warrior that just goes out and races once or twice a weekend. It's good to have everyone coming together like that.
Hey, man, we got a fun field. You see the Packer truck sitting down there on pit road. You see the field of cars. And again, tonight is unique. Michael's touched on it. This is the only night all weekend that you have everybody running a complete show from hot laps to qualifying to the main event. Of course, it's split field tomorrow and on Friday. Hey, we got the Death Ridge Opticians Choose Cone, which always makes things entertaining. This is a fun way, and again, I can't stress it enough, this is a paid test session toward kicking off the Dirt Late Model Dream.
A lot of folks say, I don't like the split fields because you only get to see half the drivers race, but you get an extra race on Wednesday night. The drivers love it. We love it. And oh, by the way, with the split fields, you got to be on your game, number one, Thursday and Friday, and we'll talk more about that in the coming days. But number two, it also brings back the post-race party. That's what everybody wanted here for years. You see a lot of people hanging out in the midway area up behind the turn 3 and 4 grandstands. People clamored for that for years. Eldora did a great job in bringing it back. And by the way, you still get to see drivers race 3 nights here this week.
And it's the atmosphere. You talked about as the drone catches the campground. The years you've been coming here, does it amaze you every time how the campground expands for every single event? Clearly, the World 100 has the most campers, but we're watching the Dream, the Kings Royal, all these events here at Eldora, they just grow.
And let's not be mistaken, right? Back there, kind of in the upper center, upper right-hand part of the screen where that giant Busch Light silo is, that will be completely full within about the next 48 hours as well. So it always happens here at Eldora, and the atmosphere is unlike any other.
I tell you, the atmosphere that's unlike any other. Michael Rigsby, he's got Kevin Kovac down there in the Kevin Kovac Memorial Media Center. Rigsby, if you got your ears on, how many different people in the industry get to host a pre-race show from inside the media center that is named in their memory?
Truly. First of all, I want to apologize for the 5 to 6 minutes comment. I was letting Hudson O'Neal know he had 5 to 6 minutes left, Ben and DJ. I didn't want you to think I was telling you that you had 5 to 6 minutes. You could have taken as long as you wanted.
Oh, sure.
But my father always says to me every time I say the Kevin Kovac Memorial Media Center, Kevin's not dead, right? So, Kevin, just know this is already prehumously that this media center will be named after you when you ultimately pass. How does that feel?
What an honor. What an honor, really. I mean, and everyone gets, once it gets dark here, too, all the time, I'm sitting in here, and you can see in. Now, now we can see out.
Yeah.
Now, later on, you can see in, and I'm here, like, I can't do anything. I can't get away with anything while I'm in here with everybody, all the eyes on here.
Before we take our next break, quickly, Kevin and I have our industry headlines from around dirt track racing. Kevin, 3 headlines, and the first one I think it just took not only the motorsports world's entire notice, but the entire world's notice when Kyle Busch unexpectedly passed away on May 22nd. Again, the winner of the last Dirt Late Model Dream. This guy was a NASCAR superstar, one-of-one champion, but he also had ties to Dirt Late Model racing, obviously. That's that prelude win with Scott Bloomquist that he had in 2012. I know you've talked to a lot of drivers and caught up. It affected those guys in Dirt Late Model racing because this is a guy, he was a racer's racer. And I think everybody in this pit area, whether it was Cup or not, respected the talent that Kyle Busch had.
Yeah, I was at the Show Me 100 that Friday when the news came like late in the afternoon. and we're not talking about a dirt late model regular that passed away, but such a stature that he had, and there were people, and a lot of people in the pits that had connections with him. Jonathan Davenport had ran as a team with it. He was a teammate with him at a Bristol race, and Brandon Overton had him at one of the volunteer Bulls Gap race, the Kyle Larson race, and all those guys were, when I talked to them, they were. You could sense that, the youngness of 41 years old, that got to a lot of the drivers too, where they're thinking of like, man, you do have to, take every win as like your last one and cherish it. And it did. I mean, it went through that pit area really, really fast and struck everyone.
Second on this list, Kevin, last weekend at Mansfield, of course, Matt Tiff brings Mansfield back with the World of Outlaw event last weekend. Oh, by the way, it ends up being $200,000 to win races. There's been a couple of $100,000s to win at Eldora before, but never on back-to-back nights. Brandon Overton's dreams were a couple of nights apart. I think the racetrack issues aside, which I think Matt and his team will work on correcting, that was a pretty special moment at Mansfield to see the Nis family step up and donate all that money to make it $100,000 to win.
There was a lot of confusion almost when it happened, right? They make that announcement, and it almost seemed like, well, what's going on? What are they doing here? And then they say it's going to pay $100,000, and it's as they're in the staging area. And so I think some drivers were like not even really sure, like when Tyler Erb won the race on Friday night, I think he said something like Kyle McFadden has told him, like people didn't actually believe, his crew wasn't reacting. Yeah. Did I really win $100,000 there? Did they really say that? That was very unique in late model racing or any kind of racing like that.
That was certainly a headline. And lastly, one that's not as good, right? Peoria Speedway, an institution. I grew up about 30 miles from Peoria, right? A racetrack in Illinois that's been around forever and ever and ever. Gone now. They're no longer going to weekly race, I should say. They're going to have a Summer Nationals event that Bob Sargent's going to promote on June 11th, I think, coming up this week. And then after that, the future of Peoria Speedway uncertain, Kevin. That weekly racing dynamic continues to be uncertain across America, I think.
Yeah, it's tough to, that's one of the longest running dirt car sanctioned super late model racetracks in the whole state of Illinois. And will they be able to continue on? Will somebody want to take that racetrack over and continue racing? Hopefully that Summer Nationals race that Bob Sargent puts on is going to be really, really good one, and someone will see that and be like, man, let's go race Peoria. I mean, that little quarter mile, it is a neat little racetrack. I haven't seen that many races there. It's probably as many as you have, but it is a neat little track.
Early prediction, by the way. I don't know if he'd want me to say this on air or not. Bob Gardner going to be the new promoter at Eldora. Excuse me. Sorry, Tony. At Peoria.
That would be a good one. That's a good idea.
Yes,
hometown guy.
Bob Gardner from Peoria. I think Bob steps up the Pink Panther. That's my prediction. I have no knowledge of this at all, but I think it's going to be Bob. We're going to step away once more. Hudson O'Neal will join us live on set when we come back. You're watching FloRacing Night in America from Eldora, live on FloRacing.
Eldora Speedway, like you've never seen it before. Friday and Saturday, June 26th and 27th, the best rally drivers from around the world take on the Big E. Kids get in free, live music, rally racing, fireworks, and free camping. June 26th and 27th. Get your tickets now at EldoraSpeedway.com or call the Eldora Speedway box office at 937-338-3815.
For an amazing summer tradition, Country Concert 26, Fort Loramie, Ohio, July 9th, 10th, and 11th. With Jason Aldean, Riley Green, Alabama, Travis Tritt, Jamie Johnson, Cole Swindell, 38 artists, 4 stages, deluxe camping, coolers welcome. Get tickets now at countryconcert.com.
This isn't just a shop. It's where racers build products for racers with blood, sweat, and gears. At Buzzy Racing, we know what's at stake because we race too. From rear-end rebuilds and tube straightening to dyno-tested steering boxes and transmission overhauls, we don't just fix it, we build it like it's our own. Family-owned, track-proven, built with purpose, built to win.
One more lap to go for Casebolt. Could it be that the young man from Richmond, Indiana, picks up the biggest win of his racing career Out of turn number 4, it's Steve Casebolt, your winner. He's climbing out of the car. Ladies and gentlemen, your Dirt Late Model Dream winner, Steve Casebolt.
Welcome back to FloRacing Night in America. Michael Rigsby on set alongside my co-host Kevin Kovac. Kevin, people forget sometimes about that 2007 Steve Casebolt Dream victory. I think most people would have called it an upset. He'd only ever made one Dream prior to that. If somebody was going to make that feat this weekend, who would be a guy kind of like Steve Casebolt that could pull the upset, Kevin, this weekend, you think? Who would fit that category this weekend?
That was, I was throwing names around when I'm thinking of this. Casebolt was 29 years old when he won that. He only had made one Dream. But he had run the Lucas Oil, so that was the second year in the Lucas Oil. He had just won a Lucas Oil race
at
the
Florence,
week before.
At Florence, that's right.
The Dream. That was his first Lucas Oil win. I don't know. I look around. I'm like, here. I found one guy. He's 30 years old. How about Zach Mitchell? You know, he's won an outlaw race down at Bulls Gap. He hasn't raced here as many times as Casebolt has, but he's at 3 times he's tried here. You know, Zach Mitchell, I think he's got a top 5 in a preliminary race here too. So I think Zach Mitchell would be maybe a Garrett Albertson is another one.
Yeah.
He's got more national tour experience than Casebolt did at that point, but he's a possibility too. He doesn't have a crown jewel yet.
Speaking of 6-figure paydays that Casebolt won that night, here's the complete list in Dirt Late Model history of everyone who has ever won a 6-figure payday. It's actually, it's no surprise that Scott Bloomquist tops this list, as we can take a look at this graphic now. Bloomquist on top. Brandon Shepard, I think, might surprise some people with 6 was all his Dirt Track World Championships he's got. But in total, there's been 52 super late model races in history. By the way, also one crate race that paid $100,000 to win, and my guy Randy Weaver, who's in here, picked up that victory that night. Anything on this list surprise you, Kevin? Because Scott being up top didn't really shock me, obviously.
Yeah, maybe, Bobby Pierce he only has 2 at this point, but both of those are Dirt Track World Championship. He did win $100,000 with a bonus in Las Vegas a few years ago. It was a double the purse bonus, but but there wasn't many opportunities in some of those guys in some of those years. Now it's only in the recent years where guys could really have a shot at 6-figure wins multiple times a year. It used to be just here. That was it, know?
Yeah,
now there's Matt
Miller didn't have a lot of chances at $100,000 back in the day with his Dream win. One guy who is on that list, you see right there, right after Don O'Neill, is Hudson O'Neill, who joins us now on set here in the Infield Media Center at Eldora Speedway. Your 2023 World 100 winner. Hud, thanks you, first of all. I know hot laps are in about a half hour, so I appreciate you being here. I wanted to start with the simple question for you, and I love asking guys when I think I know the answer to this question. You come from a family who loves Eldora. So very simply put, what does Eldora Speedway mean to not only Hudson O'Neill, but the O'Neill family?
It means more than I can put into words. I remember you got to be 16 to get into the pit area here. So whenever I was a kid growing up, 9, 10 years old, I would set up in the stands with my grandparents and watch, and we would sit there with our stopwatches, whenever it was just one day qualifying, and they didn't have all the prelim nights that they do now. We'd sit up there and see who could get the closest to the time, that flashed on the boards. So, man, Eldora Speedway, I've been coming here for such a long time, and it means so much to me. And then I remember the first day I ever got to come into the pit area. Man, it was like Christmas all over again, So it's a lot of fun. We're excited to be here, and I love it, just as much now as I did then. Last year, Eldora Speedway didn't treat me very good, but we'll try and do better at that this year and see if we can't be standing on that stage.
This week is unique for you guys because of the way the week is laid out. You're going to compete tonight against 80 guys, and then you racing Thursday or Friday this week.
Thursday.
So you're racing tomorrow, only against 40 guys. You have an off day on Friday, then back Saturday. I'm kind of curious, how do you approach what is the most unique week all year for you, really?
Yeah, our approach is we want to race on Thursday. That way, if we have a bad night, tear something up, we have all day Friday to regroup, get to go up there, sign some autographs with some fans on Friday, and just kind of take a day, watch the racetrack, and just kind of be a little bit more meticulous and have maybe just be a little bit more prepared than some going into Saturday. That was kind of our take on it. But tonight with the FloRacing night, this might be the hardest show to make, more so than the Dream, because we're qualifying against everybody. If you have a good prelim night when you're only racing half of your field, it winds you up in a much better spot coming into Saturday for the heat races versus tonight. obviously we're in Group B, but you're still racing all these cars, so it's tough. It's this show right here might be harder to make than the Dream on Saturday.
Before Kevin goes real quick, are you a good night off guy or a bad night off guy? Some guys are like, I don't know what to do. I'm walking around, I'm pacing around. How are you with having the night off?
Here, not so bad. I'm normally the guy, if I'm here, I want to race, come on. But I have a lot of family here. Yeah. This has always been one of very few places, maybe next to Brownstown Speedway, that a majority of my family comes and, one place we all kind of rejoice every year. So the off night to me here isn't bad because I get a lot of family time. But, yeah, most of the time I'm ready to race. But and I'll still be that way. About hot lap time come Friday, I'll be like, man, this sucks.
Kevin, go ahead.
I think we should give him a stopwatch. Go up
yeah,
on the
let's
stand,
do the old top of
put a
turn
video
3,
on him and see if he can get everybody's time real close. But Hud, this is 13 wins already this year for you. You're only 2 away from the most ever in a single season in a super late model. How do you grasp that? I mean, how well this season has gone so far that, you're closing in on 20 wins already.
Yeah, just fortunate and blessed, really. No other way to describe it. I have a lot of great people around me. Got good ownership, a good crew, an amazing crew chief that, and then also being able to go and race with the number 6 K&L Rumley car. It's just amazing. It's unbelievable to just be a part of it, and I try to do the best job I can at being as prepared as I can whenever I come to these races. And I think a little bit of it, Kovac, is just time. I'm coming into my 9th or 10th season, racing a super late model, and I just feel like just time and laps and different things, even though it's hard to say that because I race 100 times a year, you still got to pay your dues, and you still have to. It just takes a while, and sometimes it takes so many years for things to click and you to start to really get a good grasp at what, Jonathan has and what Scott had, what Bobby has obviously shown us, and Ricky Thornton Jr. and all these amazing names. It's just an honor to be up there racing with them, and hopefully one day I'll just keep getting better and maybe I can be mentioned at one of them names.
Your dad was a pretty good interview. I'm not going to lie, but you, and this isn't even on my script, you're this unbelievably polished interview. How did that develop? I think the answer is dirt on dirt all those times you interviewed. That's what I think. How did that develop for you, Hudson? Because you don't miss a beat. You're incredibly polished. You're really good on camera. Where did that come from, do you think?
Well, thanks for that, Michael. But I don't know. My dad obviously was not necessarily that guy. He didn't really want to be in front of the camera. Didn't want to, his interviews were okay, but he just didn't want that part. And I'll give it a lot of credit, whenever I started my career with Todd Burns and SSI Motorsports, that was something that he tried to get me to understand was like there's way more to be gained by being a good person and being in front of a camera and, than there is to be shying away from the camera. So the more you can kind of accept that and try to do your best and being in front of the camera and speaking well and doing those things, it's going to take you a long way. And I used to get on YouTube and go and watch like Jimmy Johnson's interviews and some things. Like whenever I'd go to the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series banquet, I would get on there and kind of learn from those things and try to pick up little things that they did, and I think it's helped me.
You're second right now in FloRacing Night in America points. Of course, there's only been one race. We have the Illinois Speed Week stuff. It's a $75,000 to win championship for an 11-race mini-series. Bobby and RT have kind of dominated it, but you're right there in second. It's only 11 races. Can this be the Hudson O'Neal year? You win this $75,000?
Yeah, I hope so. There's been, things in the past that I can, put my thumb on one race that's cost us or whatever. Last year, not running the whole series, at the end of the year, we kind of sat around and we were like, man, that wasn't very smart of us, because
I thought the same.
We ended up third in points and we, missed 2 or 3 races or whatever we did. So this year we were like, well, let's be a little smarter about this and let's just go ahead and run the extra, few that we did, that we didn't last year. So
Kevin, go ahead.
I got one thing here about 2011. You've had 3. Well, 2011, your father wins the Dream. You were 11 years old. 2023, you win the World 100. First Indiana driver, right, to win the World 100. James Essex was thrilled with that, if I remember right.
He's still crying.
Yes.
He's still in tears about it. So.
And then 2023 also, you win the Lucas Oil Championship here at the Dirt Track World Championship. When you look back at those 3 huge moments here for you, I mean, what's one thing that just sticks out all the time with you when you? I was like, man, that is something that I'm always going to remember. Just one little moment from one of those 3 events.
So the one thing I remember has to do with James Essex. So him calling the race and everything was really cool. But after the race, we come in here and we did the media. Yeah. And as soon as I walked out the door to go back to the hauler, there was, I don't know, 50 or 100 people or so out through there. Well, James Essex was standing out there, and the whole way from the door all the way back to my hauler, he had his arm around me singing the Indiana fight song the entire way back. And I think about that today, and I get goosebumps thinking about it, because that was just such a cool moment. And not only did it show the passion that he has for, his home state of Indiana, and finally to win it, and being so close for so many years, but just a passion for racing and, his love for the sport. And it meant a lot to me that he that he thinks enough of me to kind of share those moments with me and be a part of that.
I've seen people cry before, and I'm an advocate for crying. I don't think I've seen anybody cry as much as James cried that night. And I love how much he cried. This was even before Indiana was a football powerhouse. Yeah. So now who knows, Hudson. One last thing for you. Do you have any interest in broadcasting one day? If I get rid of Ben and DJ, do you have any interest in coming up to the booth or no? Tell me.
That was a little cheap, Brigby. But, honestly, I do enjoy it. I don't know if you remember or not, but back in 2018, I had my shoulder surgery, and did a little bit. I did some pit reporting. I did the Dirt Million at Mansfield. Yep. And, man, I really enjoy it. I just enjoy new things. I enjoy getting to see the different side of it. And, obviously, what we see is one thing, but this is a completely different deal. And, so maybe one day we'll revisit. Maybe I can be a Randy Weaver.
Oh, well, that's big shoes to fill. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Good luck tonight and good luck all weekend. Kevin and I are going to step away for our final commercial break. We got Tyler Erb on the Race Car Engineering pre-race show when we return.
Turns 3 and 4, the checkered flag is out, and the winner of the 27th Dirt Late Model Dream is Brandon Overton.
Well, first off, I'm just glad Brandon Overton wasn't here to take any more of our money. He was really good this week at Eldora, so good to get a win and something. But it was.
there have been guys that have been dominant at Eldora, but there's never been anything like what we saw with Brandon Overton there in 2021. He competed in 4 races that week. He won all 4, including both Dreams. Remember, there was 2 Dreams that year because of COVID the year before. Kovac, $273,000. And still one of the neatest parts of that was Kyle Larson wins the All-Star race the next day, and you heard the soundbite from Kyle where he's like, oh, thank God Brandon Overton wasn't here. That's one of those, my 20-year career doing this stuff, that's one of the most memorable moments, that Brandon Overton week still.
Yeah, it was almost like, I hope he does win that last one, because you want to see
100%.
something historic happen. I remember the pit area, everyone just like, man, it must have traction control in there. And remember, they took the top 3 cars
up to the shed,
up into the shed.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, 2:30 in the morning. I stayed up there until they tore that thing, all those cars all the way down. And Brandon was like, I told you, and like everyone said, there's his traction control down there on his foot.
We were talking about, we've had a debate in the press box a little bit today about cursing, and is there too much cursing from dirt late model drivers? And Randy Weaver was just in here and said, Brandon Overton curses just enough, he said. And I think that's a great description of him, Kevin, actually.
Yeah, he keeps it cleaner. I think he has a little bit of a thinking about what's going on now when he does talk like that.
Kevin, we've reached that point in the year, it's June 1st, June 2nd, June 3rd, where you can basically watch an event on FloRacing almost every single night. And there is just a ton of big events coming up outside of dirt late model racing that we have. Let's take a look at some of those events now. Like I said, our collection and catalog of live motorsports is awfully big, including Eagle, the Eagle Nationals on June 9th for the Interstate Batteries High Limit Series, and Ohio Sprint Speed Weeks, an institution forever, June 12th through the 20th at 8 different tracks. How about that Firecracker 100, Kevin? I'm assuming you'll be at the Firecracker at Lernerville Speedway, June 25th and the 27th. And one of the great events in the country, USAC's BC 39 at the dirt track at the infield at Indianapolis Motor Speedway on July 1st. And High Limit is right back here as part of Kings Royal Week on July 15th and 16th with the Joker's Jackpot. Leave that graphic up for a second, Tiffany. Kovac, pick one thing that's not a dirt late model race on there that you would love to watch the most.
I would like to see that the Indianapolis Motor Speedway dirt track.
It's so cool.
It just I seen it like during the Indy 500. Like I caught it like one of those aerial shots. There's the dirt track in the corner. I'd like to see that midget race there.
It is really cool. I beg those guys all the time. I said, if you could have made it just a tick bigger, we could have had dirt late models on it. But they seem pretty content. I say it all the time. USAC, to me, the most pure form of motorsports on the planet. We're about 15 minutes away from Hot Lap, and there's a lot of wraps in this pit area, new wraps, but I'm not sure there is any better wrap than what Tyler Erb, fresh off that $100,000 victory, brings to Eldora Speedway. Our own Mike Norris is standing by with Turbo right now.
I tell you what, we got one of the best wraps in the pit area. Turbo, tell us about the inspiration and why you decided to go with this 51 of Rowdy Burns.
I mean, first it's a play on our Days of Thunders cars we had. Obviously, with the passing of Kyle Busch, it was just like, well, that's the perfect time to do, the last one of all that. Obviously, I didn't know Kyle at all as a person, but from the outside looking in, I feel, I had a lot of respect for him as a person and the way he held himself and the things he did, and I feel like we were relatable on a lot of things. So, yeah, it was just a really cool idea. And, his Snowball Derby car that he won the 50th Snowball Derby with looked just like it. I don't know. My guys, they come up with good ideas all the time, and this was one that I was for sure like, yeah, I really like that, and I think we can pull it off and make it look good. So, yeah, it's a really cool car, really pretty, and hopefully we make him proud.
Well, there isn't a guy in the pit area when the name Rowdy comes up. I think you fit that bill the best, and I think you're ready to get rowdy here at Eldora.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Super excited. I have a love-hate with Eldora, and there was a long time where I just dreaded coming here, but here lately I feel really good about racing and being here, and I'm super excited to kick your week off.
Well, Michael, Kevin, Rowdy, Tyler Erb Burns is set and ready to conquer the Big E here this weekend.
Thank you very much, Mike Norris. New dad upcoming too, Tyler Erb, right? So that'll be fun for Turbo. Change his life on the road a little bit, maybe, as he's got to get home a little bit to help take care of the kid.
Yeah, he's always been Uncle T, right?
Uncle T. Now he's Daddy.
T.
Now he's Daddy T, for sure. Kovac, I've got a couple notes to wrap things up, but I want to get to yours first. Your final news, notes, and nuggets before we wrap things up.
And one thing, there's a guy parked all the way up in the top pit area today that, so far, I don't think he can move down and maybe somebody leaves, but Bobby Pierce is up top there.
Yeah.
He was one of the last guys here because he has a brand new car ready to go for this weekend. They didn't finish it until 7 a.m. basically, putting the finishing touches on it today, and then were able to leave and come over here. So they were like, they missed getting in the infield by 2 haulers.
Oh,
so, they got to, I think Bob Pierce said, that's okay. I don't have to go up and down the ladder all the time. I can just go up and watch the races. Another new face in the pit area here for Super Limited is Lane Snook over there. He's running a teammate with the Bruce Kane team on number 15K. He's going to be with Will Harrington racing the other car. Lane Snook, he just had a couple top 10s with the World of Outlaws in Pennsylvania. His home, 18 years old, still in high school.
Great name, too. Lane Snook.
That's a good racing name, I think. So good. Keep an eye on him. And then Brandon Shepard, that was my pick already. And it's notable about what car he's driving here this weekend. It's a car, the Rocket 1, that he's driven in just about every race this year. Debuted at Alltech during the Lucas races, during Speed Weeks, and the only time he hasn't run that since then is Volusia 2.0 and last week at Mansfield. So that car's got it. He knows it.
Yeah.
Most of his wins have come in that.
A couple of notes that I've got. This is, you talk about new guys, right? That rookie money that we talk about. On Saturday night, the highest finishing rookie of the week will be awarded $3,000, and it's certainly helped keeping guys and fresh blood come to the Dream in the World. How about this one? If you didn't have this one on your bingo card, from Waynesville, North Carolina, Alex Vance here in competition. He's run 7 races this year. Only 2 of them have been late model races. Those were crate late model races. Kevin, what if I told you this about Alex? His 2 biggest career wins are Greg Biffle's race that RIP to Biff, who we all love, that he ran in his backyard basically with Cletus McFarland. Alex won that race. And then Alex has a distinction of this. He started 89th in a race and won. Cletus McFarland at the Freedom Factory had an Enduro with 120 cars. Alex started 89th in that race and won it. Do you think there's a single other driver in this pit area that started 89th and won an event?
I guess maybe get Joseph Joyner. I can see he's probably run some Enduro at Southern Raceway with 150 cars or something. But other than that's a pretty incredible stat.
I had Levi Jones in here, of course, Hall of Fame racer, USAC champion. I said, Levi, get a load of Alex. Alex started 89th and won a race. You've definitely never done that. So that was cool. And Ray Cook knows him from the Southeast. And Ray said, I was trying to convince him not to come up here. He's not ready for Eldora. But here we are. That happens sometimes, Kevin.
Yeah, throw it out there. I mean, maybe he can pull off a Scott Bloomquist. You think he can do that?
Oh, the first time.
Scott Bloomquist had a little more experience than that, so hopefully he can just get some laps in at Eldora and get some confidence.
I think that's right. We're about 10 minutes away from hot laps. Before we go, I have to mention one of our pre-race show sponsors, of course, Horsepower Hydration, a company that, of course, means a lot to me. I got a Horsepower Hydration pack of mixed berry. We're doing our deepest 4-day discount, or deepest discount we've ever done at Horsepower Hydration, Kevin. Use the code DREAM20 for 20% off every order. You're drinking some Horsepower Hydration right now. HorsepowerHydration.com. Go there right now, and when you check out, use the code DREAM20, 20% off. We've never done a discount like that. You just take the electrolyte mix, you pour it into your water, you shake it up. We got lemon lime, we got mixed berry. Head to HorsepowerHydration.com right now. Use the code DREAM20. Kevin, it's about to get hot. You need this stuff to say hi. Are you hydrated enough, Kevin?
I didn't drink my whole bottle yet, but I will. It's 80 degrees. It's going to be like that for the next few days.
So this is very important to stay hydrated. Kenny Wallace loves it. You've got to love it too. HorsepowerHydration.com, and use the code DREAM20 for 20% off. Kevin, who wins tonight?
Tonight, that's Bobby Pierce. Brings that new car out. He comes from the top there. He goes into the, he does one of those pulls. He has to keep continually pulling in across the racetrack. He gets the win tonight. I think he's going to be ready to go with that new iron.
I think the guy that was sitting to my left earlier, I think Hudson O'Neill's your winner tonight. And then I saw Nick Hoffman earlier. Everybody in the world picking Nick Hoffman to win Saturday night. That's a bit of a seed change. Jonathan Davenport's won 3 Dreams in a row. Nobody picked him in the video cast, Kevin.
That's right. They're parked right next to each other in the pits. They're buddies. So Jonathan might have to push him over to the side here if he continues taking the spotlight away. Right.
Kevin and I will be back for the post-race show. You'll see us right back down here when the action wraps up from tonight. And don't forget the next 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Race Car Engineering, our pre-race show sponsor. We're so excited to have them on board. We will see them the next 3 nights, including their logo, I think, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Kevin and I are going to step away for another break. Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett on the other side. We'll be back after for the post-race show. You're watching FloRacing Night in America, live from Eldora.
Too nice to say no. It's why we said yes to delivering pizza and delivering people to the pizza.
Pizza time. Now buy any large pizza, get a large single topping half off. It's not crazy. It's Casey's.
The new Dirt Draft app. Faster, sharper, built to win. New lock windows and predictive contests. More ways to play. More ways to win. Lock in your drivers. Watch the action and become a fantasy champion. Every lap, every restart, every last lap slide job that moves you up the leaderboard. The green flag just dropped on the all-new Dirt Draft. Download it now at dirtdraft.com. Draft your team and get...
A superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Dave Poske's Performance Parts has been serving the Ohio River Valley and the entire country since 1978. Our staff consists of fellow racers and crew members who combine for over 100 years of experience in the racing industry. Poske's is also the home to Hoosier Tire Ohio Valley and Octane Race Products. We have what you need when you need it and ship nationwide daily. Visit us in Parkersburg, West Virginia or online at Poske.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to FloRacing Night in America at Eldora, as we are the kickoff to the 32nd running of the Dirt Late Model Dream. And, well, wouldn't you know it, we have 2 late arrivals that have bumped us up to 84 entrants here tonight.
And they're both from a locale that starts with an A. One of them is Arkansas, and the other one is Australia, as in Western Australia. Jeff Roth.
Very similar.
Joe Chalmers, former Australian national champ. Those two, Arkansas and Australia get confused a lot, DJ.
The culture yes. Of each, often get, absolutely. Well, you and I have the honor of being up top, and something that we started last year that we were going to continue. We are joined by 2 of our good friends in the infield, Mike Norris, and you wanted it, you got it, James Essex in the wild. They joined us from the Eldora Speedway Victory Stage. Guys, welcome.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be an awesome night of racing, and James, we'll take a good look at the racetrack here at Eldora Speedway as that gets set ready to go. 84 cars here at a Wednesday night, FloRacing Night in America, 20 grand on the line. Doesn't get much better than this, my friend.
By the way, we just got back from New Zealand, so we're the last 2 in here today. But yes, I'm ready to go tonight. 84 cars. We're still doing 6 heat races.
Yep.
And we're going to start 24 cars tonight. Still no provisionals. Of course, we're not up to 4 races, but the first time I did this 2 years ago, it rained, right?
Okay.
It's not going to rain tonight, all right? That's my weather app says it's sunny. And last year we had 1 pit stop, like we had a shock change. So we got to have some chaos at some point, right?
A kerfuffle. We may have a kerfuffle.
That's what we need to do, yeah.
So it should be a great night of racing, and again, 84 cars, 6 heats. They all get a chance to obviously race tonight and tomorrow and Friday. They get to split fields. But what do you think some of the strategies coming in, the little test and tune for some of these guys?
Well, sure. I mean, the question is, can Jonathan Davenport be beat in June, right? He's won 11 Crown Jewel races here in his career. Not so effective, though, in September. Ricky Thornton Jr., the reigning World 100 winner. We'll see if somebody can unseat Davenport. It's only 2 drivers that have won the Dream on Saturday night since 2020. That would be Overton and Davenport. But this race here, there's been a different winner every year.
Well, it definitely seems like it could be the smooth operator, Bobby Pierce, or maybe the 76. How about that Budweiser car we were talking earlier? Maybe one of the sharpest. We looked at Turbo's car, but the fans have not seen the 150 years of Budweiser Brandon Overton car. Oh, my goodness. They have knocked it out of the ballpark behind us, haven't they?
And if he wins the race, I want you to do your Harry Carey impression, right?
You definitely got it. Steve Stone and Harry Carey will definitely take over if that happens. But, guys, beautiful looking wraps, a ton of great race cars. Man, we are set and ready to go. Myself, James Essex, we got the choose cone down here. Life can't get much better than this.
So
was that a toss or?
So actually, Schwally is set to be on choose cone duty. Guys, don't forget to turn your microphones off down there. James is trying. There we go. I told James, I said, hey, you ought to go try to steal the choose cone from Ashley, and he's like, So we'll see.
People are saying it was a professional job like we've never seen with the choose cone. I also understand she might be in the race car engineering pace truck, so I'm not sure what all she's doing tonight. But, man, we do know this 84 cars. A year ago, 85 cars. And, man, what a star-studded field. I think Huddy said it best during the Race Car Engineering pre-race show. This is probably the hardest show of the week to make because you've got the full field. Everybody's going head-to-head. And, it's a FloRacing Night in America point event. Now, only the best 8 out of our 11 events count toward that $75,000 title. And, hey, with this not being round 4 yet, no provisionals tonight. A year ago, this was round 4 because of rainouts. It's not, as you see Ryan Montgomery there on screen. So that's going to be another story to watch tonight is we could see arguably the top handful of guys in our point standings not making it into the show, and Brandon Shepard hopes that I'm wrong because he leads right now FloRacing Night in America's points.
You had, speaking of those point standings, as the first group of drivers make their way out, we'll touch on those in a second. You actually had an interesting conversation with Shannon Babb earlier as well.
Yeah, Shannon, we pay the top 8, highest 8 in points, $500 show-up money. Tanner English was 8th, Shannon's 9th. Because Tanner's not here, Shannon got that money, so Shannon's going to get a lot of those Casey's pizzas for the day week's up. You see on your screen, Benji Hicks not entered, but he's in the house, and the Freedom isn't free. BHR Fabrication, Clements Power, double nickel, number 55 out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. That is Benji Hicks rolling through turns 1 and 2. A great-looking race car, and behind him, first time for a FloRacing night in America. Behind him will be the 1E car. Scratch out the T1. He has raced with us before. Todd Morrow out of Lafayette, Alabama, the AAA General Contractors CTC Disaster Response Vic Hill Power Team 0 for Todd Morrow.
I know the two guys behind him. We're going to see the 22. That, of course, is going to be Fergie time. Chris Ferguson ran with us the Show Me 100 just a couple weeks ago out of Mount Holly, North Carolina, and that Schaefer Oil Animal Care Clinic Fast Laps Open Heart Stinger race car. For Chris Ferguson, he'll be followed by the driver of the 111, maybe one of the dark horses this weekend. A winner at Port Royal earlier this year is Max Blair out of Centerville, Pennsylvania, the 35-year-old. In that Centerline Motorsports, Virgili Iron and Steel Rigs Fiber, Creekside Auto Sales Longhorn number 111.
The 09 rolling off into turns 1 and 2. Michael Leach out of Sun River, Montana. No, I scratched that. We're going to go to the Mag Daddy. Dale McDowell out of Chickamauga, Georgia, the Team 0. Clements powered entry, 1 win on the year at the I-75 Raceway, the Reese Monument Company. Ace Doran hauling and rigging entry for one of 8 drivers to win the Dream and the World 100. It's Mac Daddy Dale McDowell, the 17M. And we'll see who we get next. There we go. The 09 out of Sun River, Montana. Michael Leach picked up his first Super Late Model win at Volusia Speedway Park earlier this year. The Longhorn Factory Team, Dust Pods, Wheel Wrench, Wagyu, Durham Powered Longhorn for Michael Leach.
Behind him is going to be the driver of the number 15, Dad John, helping turn duties here this weekend. That is Justin
Turn duties.
Turn wrenches. Double duty.
Wow.
Double duty racing. Well, you know, John Duty doing double duty. That's right. Justin Duty in that First Class Septic, Don Frank Floors, Robert Speed Company, Finish Line Graphics sponsored. Finish Line Graphics sponsored number 15. Behind him in the number 12, that's going to be racing Jason Jameson, current Northern All-Stars points leader in that James Ratliff Racing Interstate Motor Company, JR Trucking sponsored number 12.
Well, let's see who else we get on the racetrack. And there, I was going to him earlier. Now we'll go to him. First time for Flow Night in America, Jeffrey Erickson Jr. out of Muskegon, Michigan. Artistic exteriors roll on by Tim Kent, Coleman Farms Racing, Varney Powered Rocket Chassis for Jeffrey Erickson Jr. And behind him, first time here to the Biggie, the 13 of Dallin Murdy out of Chelsea, Iowa. The Clements Powered Longhorn, Stealth Oil Wheel Services, Quality Services, and Murdy Farms, all sponsors on the Skyline Motorsports entry for the game changer, Dallin Murdy in the 13.
Yeah, first time he's ever even been on the grounds. He told me earlier one other driver on the track for this set of Dirt Draft Hot Laps, and that's going to be the 12 of Ryan Montgomery out of Fairmont, West Virginia. That Harris Walmsley Racing, Josh Walmsley Racing, Bomax Equipment Group 84 Lumber, sponsored number 12 for flying Ryan Montgomery.
So Dirt Draft Hot Laps, get your Dirt Draft lineups in and get $10 Longhorn gift card and 25% off Hoosier merch gift cards for new signups at Dirt Draft. And also Greg Dethridge is going to issue $150 gift cards for Dethridge Optics for the top 50 in the Dream leaderboard points. Guess who will not be top 50? This guy. If there's a bottom 50, sign me up.
I ordered some new contacts from Dethridge Opticians just a couple weeks ago, so I could use that $150 gift card. So I'm going to do what I can to try to get in the top 50 this week. I'm a former World 100 winner, you know.
Of Dirt Draft.
Yeah, well, I mean.
It's kind of like you want a video game, basically, but.
It still takes skill.
Still does. Yeah, I couldn't do it. You got me beat on that. So 84 cars signed in today, DJ. It'll be Group A and B. Group A will make up heat races 1, 2, and 3 coming up later out of Sunoco Racefields qualifying. Group B will make up heat races 4, 5, and 6 out of Sunoco Racefields qualifying. And then we'll have 6 10-lap heats. Top 3 out of each one of those heats will move on. 3 B mains. The top 2 out of each of those 12-lap Bs go up to the 50-lap feature. And 24 cars. How many provisionals tonight? Zero.
That's right.
Yep.
Hey, I want to send a big shout out real quick. I know Rigsby mentioned them earlier, but Race Car Engineering, they were the sponsor of our pre-race show a little earlier tonight. And they're going to be sponsoring the pre-race show all week long. Race Car Engineering serves the racing community and has been doing so since 1998, man. And they got everything from asphalt and dirt to drag and high performance with over 100 top performance brands in stock. You can check out their brand new website at racecareng.com.
They're also doing a deal. Head over to the Race Car Engineering Facebook page and send them, like the page, send them a direct message with the Thursday night winner, the Friday night winner, and the Saturday night winner, who you think is going to win the next 3 nights. You're going to be automatically entered into a Race Car Engineering Dream $1,000 challenge. The first person that enters that gets all 3 winners right, a $1,000 Race Car Engineering gift card. So head over to Race Car Engineering, follow the page, direct message them who you think is going to win the next 3 nights after tonight. Pick up $1,000 if you're the first one to guess all 3 winners correct. And yeah, we talked about getting those dirt draft lineups in, so make sure to head over there, take advantage of some goodies for new signups. As you look at the back straightaway, we're getting this racetrack ironed in here during dirt draft hot laps. And again, DJ is very good at it. I am very bad at it. It is very fun no matter how good or bad you are. And yeah, new subscribers and reactivated subscribers, you get some bonus merch for being part of the show.
Do you remember your dirt draft password?
I do remember that because it involves my puppy dog. It involves my puppy dog.
I know James's. I think James's was Carl Short 1, 2, 3, 4 or something.
I thought here was there's no green light 1.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. Hey, I like that car, by the way. It's good to see new blood here at Eldora. Of course, a lot of incentives. Copeland Farms Racing jumping on board to help with some giant incentives. We'll talk more about that as the week goes on once we officially kick off the Dirt Late Model Dream tomorrow. But Jeffrey Erickson Jr., the Muskegon, Michigan, I guess we can call him a veteran now. He's been racing a few years, but I like that race car. And again, we'll talk more about Brett Coltman and all the great folks at Copeland Farms Racing for the incentives they have for the rookies in this year's Dirt Late Model Dream. Again, those of you that are tuning in at home, here on FloRacing, this is night number 1 of Dream Weekend, but it is a FloRacing Night in America event. It's a complete show this evening and has absolutely no bearing on anything that happens here the rest of the week.
Other than kicking off one hell of a party, it's a great fire starter for a big party. We see Max Blair on your screen, fastest in that set of dirt draft hot laps. As you mentioned, 1 win on the year came at Port Royal Speedway back on the 411. April 11th he won the Titusville, Pennsylvania Driver Center Line Motorsports Upstate Auto Group entry, Max Blair in car 111.
Yeah, let's not forget that Max has got 2 straight Dream top 10s heading into this week as well, and he was well on his way to a top 10 run. I love that. At the World 100 as well before he broke a fan belt last year. He came from the final row up inside the top 10 before that happened. There is a good look at Dalton Cook in the 44D.
Turns out Max is really good at these big racetracks. Okay, down to the pit area.
Hey guys, real quick, I caught the end. Benji Hicks pulled in down here next to his crew guys. Said the motor didn't sound right, so they pulled in. Problems early for the 55. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
All right, thanks for the update there. Mike Spatola was just on your screen, the 3-time Fairbury Speedway track champion. 5 wins already for Mike Spatola this year. The Pro Power Racing Engine Rocket, Big Daddy Scrap, B&D Chemical entry, number 89. The C4 on your screen out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. Fast Freddie Carpenter, the Gates Trucking, Witt's Mobile Home Movers, Wintertown Ford, Vic Hill Power Kryptonite for Freddie Carpenter.
Next driver on your screen is going to be the driver out of Middleburg, Florida. That's Mark Whitener in the Ocala Restaurant Supply Southeast Ship Repair Jet Concrete Works Race Car Engineering sponsored entry, and he will be followed by the youngster in the number 14. That is Trey Mills in the Mills Concrete Copeland Farms PG Performance Boswell Oil sponsored number 14 junior. We have got to get an updated picture of Trey Mills on there.
He's also now 9 feet tall. The 7-car Tyler Thomason out of Phoenix City, Alabama. Cornette Powered Longhorn, the Tim Thomason Construction and Landscaping. Thomason Properties, the Racing Zone number 7, and rolling out a turn at number 4 in car number 22. Man, I do like that race car. That's Drake Troutman out of Hindman, PA in the Team 22 Inc. Victory Circle Auto Sales, Gambler Transport, Mesilla Valley Transportation. Cornette Powered Longhorn, 1 win this year, and that came at West Virginia Motor Speedway, American Late Model Series.
That sure did. Danny Ebert going to be the next driver on your screen out of Lakeshore, Minnesota, and that James Trantina-owned Minnesota Truck Headquarters, Collins Brothers Towing, and Soil-sponsored number 60, the former USMTS Modified standout. And behind him, we saw him at Eldora last year. It'll be Ryan Crane out of Panama City, Florida, in the Clemens Powered Capital Race Car, the Panama City Cycles SCCS Solutions sponsored number 10.
Also in this set, former winner of the Dream and the World, Shane Clanton in car 25. Rolling out of turn number 4 with Super K Express, M&S Concrete, SCCS, Clements Powered Capital. 2 wins on the year. Those came at Perth Motorplex and Kwinana Beach, Western Australia, which happens to be the home track for Joe Chalmers, who is here tonight. One of the last entries in the pit area. Wow.
Move over, Joe Chalmers. All right, so this is the second wave of Dirt Draft Hot Laps, and Mike Spatola slowing on the front straightaway. And that is going to draw a Midwest sheet metal caution as trouble on the number 89, maybe, unless the yellow was already out. He was just ahead of the curve.
Man, I tell you what, some of these guys have come here with some new looks on their race cars. Some of them are battle-torn and worn. Either way, we're glad to have them all here at the Big E. And if you're watching at home, check out one of the drivers watching the broadcast on FloRacing in their phone in the cockpit of the race car. If you're watching on FloRacing, we hope you're going to join us the rest of the weekend. And that was Ethan Dotson getting a sneak and peek, and he's got a special look on the side of that 74X, the California native.
Yeah, maybe not quite as many special wraps as we've seen this year at the Dream, and a few guys like Troutman and Dotson, who we just saw, had to unload their cars at Mansfield last week for that World of Outlaws race. But always good to see some of the new wraps on these race cars, and I'm sure that we will have a plethora of new wraps for the World 100 in September.
Speaking of a plethora, we have a plethora of on-air talents here this weekend. Some have more talent than others, namely Randy Weaver. And yeah, Weaver's kind of hanging out today. He did shoot some, they boxed up some content down in the pit area that we're going to be hearing. Randy is wandering on the microphone, I'm told, but Randy's going to definitely be full bore come tomorrow and the Friday, Saturday. Hey, Weaver, you got your ears
Weaver,
on, buddy.
they're talking about you.
Oh, no, that's James Essex.
Who's talking about me? They're talking about you. Hey, congratulations, National Dirt Late Hall of Fame coming up in August.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I still can really let that soak in. It's amazing to me to go in, not only in that at all, but just to go in with the group I'm going in. I always looked up to those guys and thought one day I might get a race with them, and now I'm getting to go in the Hall of Fame with them. So really appreciate everybody that does that, and the building a new Hall of Fame, and I'm looking forward to it in a couple months.
So Randy Weaver, by the way, Ben, is going to be driving the two-seater here on Saturday night. Two-seater tickets are available and for sale, so if you've not yet done so, make sure you go back to the fan zone area behind turns 3 and 4. Get your two-seater tickets. It's going to be Nick Hoffman on Thursday, Garrett Alberson on Friday, and Randy Weaver on Saturday. Oh, and by the way, they are going to do a drawing tonight. I talked to Matt Altiers back there. Do you know who tonight's driver is?
I have no idea.
What if I told you the most recent NASCAR winner at Talladega, Carson Hocevar, will be taking someone around in the two-seater.
Very cool. Well, how about that set? Mark Whitener goes to the top of the leaderboard. Current Southern Thunder Super Dirt Series points leader. 4 wins this year across multiple series. Former United Dirt Late Model Championship Series champion. 4 champions with that, down to the pits.
Yeah, back here in the back row, Mike Spatola came down here, no power at all on the 89. I did get a chance to look at Benji Hicks. He had mud everywhere. He thinks just an overheating issue because of all the mud being out there in Group 1, but no power. You were right, DJ, under the hood of the 89.
Norris on fire to start tonight. I love it. Well, there's Will Harrington in car 15K out of Hawkinsville, Georgia. The All About Doors, Langenfelter Mechanical Contractors, 5M Construction, Clements Powered Rocket. 4 wins on the year across 4 different divisions pretty much at 3 different tracks, and he is in the Bruce Kane 15K. Behind him in cart number 11, Austin Smith out of Cedartown, Georgia. The SCCS Solutions, Hesco Solutions, Cedartown Electric, Clements Powered Capital Race Car. That's Austin Smith, the Georgia racer.
They'll be followed by a 3-time winner this year and a former winner of this event. It's going to be Mikey Marler out of Winfield, Tennessee, and that Ronnie Delk Equipment, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Langenfelder Mechanical Contractors sponsored 157, and he will be followed by, let's see if they put the 44 or the 18 up there for me. It's going to be the 18. That's Shannon Babb, currently 9th in the FloRacing Night in America point standings. A winner at Spoon River a few weeks ago in that Dynagrow Seed, Petrov Towing, Donnelly Trucking sponsored number 18.
Dalton Cook in the 44D, currently 5th in the Hunt the Front standings and the Southern Thunder standings. The Clements Powered Longhorn Live Life Healthy Healthcare CRM Motors 44D for Dalton Cook, former Southern All-Star and Southern Thunder champion. He won the Southern Thunder title last year. And behind him, Tim Lance out of Brimfield, Illinois. The Jules Ice Cream and Coffee, Lance Timber and Veneer, Outpace Racing Products, Pro Power Racing Engine Longhorn for Tim Lance.
Next 2 drivers on your screen, we're going to have the 88, the little head knocker. That's Trent Ivey out of Union, South Carolina in the Ridgeway Electric, or excuse me, the Ridgeway Electric.
Yes, sir.
Yep, Palmetto Pole and Piling, Ivy Septic Service sponsored entry. There's the 21, that is Super Mario Gresham out of Rome, Georgia. Glad to have him here. A winner in Extreme Speedway a few weeks back, that Actors Wrecker Service, Bama Sheds and Pole Barns 21.
Garrett Alberson in that set, the Brack Properties, Low Voltage Solutions, Bill Sports Shop, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Clements Powered Longhorn. 1 win this year for that driver. And Brandon Overton, brand new wrap on the 76, the Budweiser, Riggs Fiber, Garto Southern, Clements Powered Longhorn race car for Brandon Overton in car 76. 7 wins this year for Brandon Overton.
And he slows maybe and he's going to pick the speed back up.
He's teasing you.
Those Brandon Overton wraps are just sexy. I mean, those things are just fantastic.
Well, the driver's big sexy, so the race cars are sexy too. Well, fastest in that set. How about Mike Marlar, 157? He's got Clements power under the hood this week, down to the pits.
Hey, guys, what about Bruce Kane Racing back with his 2 entries here tonight? Will Harrington with 1L back behind the wheel. And how about the young gun out of Port Royal, Pennsylvania, Lane Snook? 21 limited late model wins a year ago. He's piloting the second Bruce Kane entry of the night.
I like it, James. 149 go-kart wins in his career. That means that's 149 more than I have. And he's a very talented driver working his way up through the ranks. Excited for Bruce Kane to bring that driver here this weekend. DJ, next set of cars are led out by the 16 car, 2-time defending Ice Bowl champion. It's Sam Seawright out of Fort Payne, Alabama, the Clements-powered Longhorn. Coleman Farms Racing, Special Needs School of Gwinnett, Autism Awareness, all sponsors for Sam Seawright. 2 wins this year, and the 74X behind him. Bakersfield, California's own Ethan Dotson, ASD Motorsports, Jarrett Rifles, Taco John's. Get your guns and your tacos. And the Clements-powered Longhorn, Nathan Dotson, a one-time winner this year in the 74X.
Your second favorite Gustin going to be the next drive around on the racetrack.
Behind Janae,
that's going to be the Reaper Ryan Gustin out of Marshalltown, Iowa, in the Todd Cooney Racing, Carl's Auto Group, Hooker Trucking, Allen Seamless Gutter sponsored. Number 19R, 6th in the World of Outlaws point standings, is the Reaper Ryan Gustin, and he'll be followed out by a driver that got his first 2 wins of the season last week with the Northern All-Stars late models in the Horsepower Hydration. Number 10 out of Milton, Florida. That is going to be Hunt the Front, Joseph Joyner.
Well, skipping a car up will be the 11 of Josh Rice out of Crittenden, Kentucky, winner of a prelim during the Show Me 100, the MC Tank Transport, Glenwood Electric, Sunoco, JRR Motor Cells, Chainwalker entry, the Vic Hill Powered Longhorn for Crittenden, Kentucky's Josh Rice, currently leading the Rookie of the Year standings with the World of Outlaws. And he's in the 11R. Now play again. Play goes Lucas Oil. Similar, but not. So, yeah. National Tour, yes, Josh Rice leading the Rookie of the Year with the Lucas Series. My goodness. The 12 car on your screen, Ashton Winger. He comes to us out of Hampton, Georgia, 4th in the Hunt the Front standings. The Jeff Matthews Racing, West Pro JCB, Capital Sports Construction entry, 1 win this year, and that came just a couple of weeks ago with the Southern Thunder Late Model Series.
The driver that is leading the Rookie of the Year standings in the World of Outlaws points next on your screen, and that B&L Construction-based Racing Fuels Dave's Towing. Number 58V, that is going to be the Big Perm Dalton Wilson out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. He'll be followed by another Lucas rookie candidate in the number 8 out of Urbana, Missouri. That is Dylan McCowan in the Sonic America's Drive-In, BLC Transportation, Pomeroy Services, Empire Energy, number 8.
The 388 car in this set, Jackson Heiss. I think one might skip past him. Yeah, that'll be the 15 car of Lane Schnook out of Port Royal, Pennsylvania. All of Outdoors, Lane Fletcher Mechanical Contractors, Jerry Siding and Roofing. Car number 15, Kate Clements, Power of the Rocket. 4 wins this year for that driver. And then Jackson Heiss in car 388 out of Ocala, Florida. 7th in the Hunt the Front standings. Points, the Triple Crown Trailers, Quality Services Roofing, Down to Earth Trailers. 7-time Florida State Go-Kart champion is Jackson Heiss.
So these are the next group of drivers out on the racetrack. Still a couple more hot lap sessions to go with 85, is that what we ended with?
84
yes, entries here this evening. Sam Seawright, his second appearance here in the Dirt Late Model Dream. There on your screen, and the fastest driver in that session of Dirt Draft Hot Laps, Horsepower Hydration, flexing the horsepower in this one. That is Joseph Joyner, second quick overall right now with a 1.5.665. The driver out of Milton, Florida.
See how important those electrolytes are. You get them in you, you go fast. And yeah, he swept the Northern All-Star events last week at Bloomington and Brownstown, and very exciting for that team. He said, man, the weather was great and the racetracks were even better. So that was very exciting. And,
do you think when the season started that Joseph Joyner had wins at Bloomington, Indiana, and Brownstown, Indiana on his bingo
Do you
card?
think he had a race at Brownstown? Maybe. Do you think he had a race at Bloomington, Indiana?
I'm going to say no.
Kudos to James Essex, Northern All-Star crew, really doing a great job at putting those shows over there. James, I'm guessing that's you, buddy.
That's me. We're down here with Dallin Birdie. Dallin, your first laps at Eldora. What do you think?
Well, I broke a 5th coil, so I got about 1.5 laps, so we're just going to wing it for qualifying.
Like I know Greg Burnick and everything giving you this opportunity here in 2026. You're in the Longhorn tonight. A lot of work to be done on this car to get it ready for time trials.
Yeah, we got her fixed. My crew's working pretty good. So, yeah, just excited to be here. Just can't thank Skyline and say hi to everyone watching back home.
There you go. Keep an eye on him. Now, Chelsea, Iowa, guys. Of course, Dallin Birdie.
Yeah, the game changer. His dad, by the way, running at Independence here the last couple of days in a $5,000 to win stock car event out there for Mike Van Genderen.
The racing Murdies.
That's right.
You think he's got the Stewart set up on that race car out here tonight?
You could fit Stewart inside
the Kevin
Eldora.
Kovac Memorial Media Center, just about.
That's exactly right.
Man, what a beautiful night, though, here, DJ. You see Ashton Winger down there in the 12 car, and just excited to be here. 20,000 to win tonight, and of course, 30,000 to win for half the field tomorrow, 30,000 for the other half on Friday, and then Saturday night we go for 100,000. And it's hard to believe it's already the 32nd running of the Dirt Late Model Dream. I still remember as a kid hearing they've announced this race, and Rossburg, Ohio is going to pay 100,000 win at Eldora, and you're like, wow, I can't imagine.
Do you remember your first Dream, by the way, like the first one you attended in person?
You know, it was when I was working for Dirt on Dirt.
Oh, wow.
My first trip to Eldora, I think was it 05 the year Chubb won the world?
I think
somewhere
so.
around there. Yeah, so that would have been
04, yeah.
Yeah, 04. That'd been my first trip up here, and then my first Dream would have been like 2011. You see Dallin Murdy down there in the 13 car, and man, you know that kid. You've talked a long time about Dallin Murdy and how good he was, and Greg Bruning saw exactly what you were talking about. Brings him out here and making his debut. They broke the 5th coil. They'll go to work on that, try to get it ready as the gate swings close. The last few cars come from the outside, but it's exciting. You talked about it, DJ, to see these youngsters coming here for the first time.
No, it absolutely is. As there's a good look at one of the maybe unexpected entrants this weekend, and the number 6, that's going to be Buchanan, Virginia's David Watts. That is a home-built chassis, by the way, for that number 6. But no, you nailed it, man, and that's what this sport and that's what racing is all about. Again, you're going to have a 60-year-old and Dale McDowell out there running right up front with the 17 and 18-year-olds in the sport. McDowell second in the World 100 last year, by the way. So there's not many other sports guys where you can have that happen, just being quite honest.
Hey, guys, can we now call Carson Ferguson a NASCAR driver as well, right?
I mean, 2 truck races.
Yeah, he's parked down here beside Carson Hocevar. Hocevar comes in a 9th at a NASCAR Cup points. He'll be coming out here shortly in that Spire Motorsports 77. But Carson Ferguson tonight, as you mentioned, a great field of cars, 84 of them here tonight. I'm ready to go. Let's interview some winners here in a little bit, right,
well,
guys?
I'll tell you what, James, we got an interview real quick with a winner last week. We were just talking to James Essex about the Northern All-Stars. Man, wouldn't you love to continue fast early on here, Joseph?
Yeah, right now things are rolling pretty good. I think we got a really strong package. It seems to be pretty universal at this point, so I don't know, maybe we can put a whole night together here.
Well, I tell you what, how about horsepower hydration coming on board? And they were just talking about electrolytes. Maybe you could get a new nickname.
Yeah. Hey, you got to have your electrolytes. Get you some horsepower hydration. Stay hydrated. It's hot. Well, thank them for coming on board and supporting our program here and giving us a little something to go on. So we're thankful for them, and they got a great product.
Well, I tell you what, he's going to be hunting the front with his horsepower hydration number 10. Joseph Joyner's fast here in Hot Laps, guys.
DJ, I like hydration tips from the Joyner family down there. Well, somebody has lost a lot of fluid down the back straightaway.
Yeah, they need somebody needs horsepower hydration in their car after that.
You hope that it's not something that came in the form of a hole in the oil pan. So getting a little bit of that done right now. I think they're probably going to put the last of it down and send this next group of cars out, Tiffany, as I know that we're kind of monitoring from up top here. It's not a ton of fluid, but just enough to need some speedy dry. So I think they're going to finish putting that down. And now they're crossing the gate. I mean, we've got multiple crossings happening here. And DJ, you know, something interesting at the Dream, we don't always have people parked outside. And there were just enough of the big haulers here that they've got part of the field parked outside. Then we're going to be around 90 when we get to tomorrow. 84 cars signed in tonight. There's a handful of guys not arriving until tomorrow. 90, that's a good even split. You get 45 cars both nights. You get a great night of racing. A lot of guys get a good payday. And then we head over and enjoy the post-race entertainment.
Yeah, it's going to put us right in the same neck of the woods as we have been for 2 of the last 3 years, right there in that low to mid 90s range, I think, when everything is said and done. As we had 3 or 4, I don't know, maybe kind of surprise entrants here that we didn't expect. We talked about the 6 out of Virginia, Dave Watt. How about Aurora, Missouri's Ryan Johnson showing up unannounced here this weekend?
From the Show Me
also.
State, I see what you did. You know, you don't, you know, and we usually only see Ryan when we head over either the Show Me 100 or the Diamond Nationals down to the pits.
Yeah, guys, we had cars rolling late from Arkansas and Australia, but Fort Payne, Alabama's home of Alabama, the Alabama. Are you a Tide fan, CMC, right?
Yeah, I am. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
That's too bad.
By the way, Indiana just scored another touchdown on you, by the way.
Oh.
But anyway, let's talk about your second trip here to Eldora, your second trip to the Dream.
Yeah, this is awesome. I just want to thank Brett for the opportunity, allowing me to come down here, and my dad for all he's done. I felt pretty good in hot laps. I think we got a pretty good car. Maybe we can make something out of it.
What about this track? You have not been, like you said, 3 years now you haven't been here. What changes do you see physically to the racetrack?
It's just, it feels like you're going as fast in the corners as you are down the straightaway. So that's a little different than down where I'm from, but I think we can adapt to it, and it's an awesome facility. It's awesome just to be here, man. So maybe we can get her dialed in and make some noise this weekend.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Sam Seawright in the 16 car, guys.
Well, Sam Seawright, a couple wins on the years. We talked about back-to-back Ice Bowl champion. Also won over in Duck River Raceway Park with Ray Cook's Southern All-Stars. And it's good to have Ray back on the staff here this weekend, DJ, or at least for today, helping with FloRacing Night in America. As the next set of cars roll out, they're going to be led by the Bee Farmer, Roberts Bee Company's 111R for Stephen Roberts out of Jessup, Georgia. The Clements Powered Longhorn, the Lennox River Ranch, Dole's Peanut Company, and KBC Graphics go Lithium 111. Riding behind him down the back straightaway, that'll be Greg Williams out of Hobstadt, Indiana. Only one race so far this year in the Spec Racing Engine Longhorn, Wilderman Farms, Martin Dairy Farms, and Ed Carley Motorsports on the 17W of Greg Williams.
Next driver on your screen is the defending World 100 champion out of Chandler, Arizona. That's Ricky Thornton Jr. in that Knights Company's Hooker Trucking, Capital Waste, Elite Ready Mix, Coleman Farms Racing sponsored 20RT. Behind him, the defending Prairie Dirt Classic champion out of Chatham, Illinois. It's Squirrel Brian Shirley in the Bob and Lisa Cullen Thomason Express Hooker Trucking, J&J Ventures Gaming sponsored number 3S.
Beer of the Beard, the number 16 of Tyler Bruning out of Decorah, Iowa. The Skyline Motorsports Quick Supply Company, Truck Country, Bruning Rock Products, Clements Powered Longhorn. Car 16 for Bruning, and behind him in the 5-star out of Ionia, Michigan, Brian Dickinson, the Force Restoration, BD&R Wealth Management, Tex Morton, Ryan Powered Laser for Brian Dickinson.
Next driver on your screen is going to be Brian Dickinson, a Longhorn, by the way. Next driver on your screen is going to be the driver of the Zero out of Tucson, Arizona. That is Jake O'Neill, the Texas General Mechanical. Hodges Farms and Dredging, Red Eye Radiator sponsored number 0. I promise he is going to be on your screen. There he is.
Yep.
There is Jake O'Neill, the former modified standout, back in late model racing for I think second, maybe third time in his career. Luke Morey behind him, a two-time winner just a couple weeks ago in the Mountaineer State. The driver out of Denver, North Carolina, that Coleman Farms Racing, Ferris Mowers, Autism Awareness Special Needs School of Gwinnett, number 49.
From Lewiston, Florida, Eli Johnson, the Clements Powered Longhorn, Clyde Johnson Contracting and Roofing, Gutter Tech, 7 Peaks Steel E55. There's Eli Johnson working off into turn number 1. And behind him, former World of Outlaw and Lucas Oil Late Dirt Series champion, Tim McCready in car number 9. Tim McCready having a good year, a couple of wins, 5th in Outlaw standings. The Excess Storage, Flawless Roofing, Dave Warren Power Sports, Corey Rubber Corporation, Sterling Ventures at number 9.
One other driver on the track for this set of Dirt Draft Hot Laps, and he's on your screen. It's going to be Austinville, Virginia's Matthew Porter in the Earl Ramey Powered Longhorn race car. The Porter Services, Bigfoot Enterprises, Aschenbach Ford sponsored number 19P.
So taking a look at that set of cars and taking a look down the board, it looks like maybe, what do we got there? I'm trying to see who might have been fastest in that set. All the groups starting to merge together, obviously racetrack dropping off a little bit. So we'll go to the next set of cars, and there's the number 77, Carson Hocevar of Aspire Motorsports, Ride the Dente, Ziegler Auto Group, Chili's, Gamebridge, Delaware Life, Cornet Powered Longhorn. 1 win on the year for Carson Hocevar, currently 9th in the NASCAR Cup Series standings, and of course he won at Talladega earlier this year. And behind him in cart number 10, defending Ray Cook Spring Nationals champion and current points leader with the series, the Vic Hill Powered Longhorn of Garrett Smith, the Atlanta Paving and Concrete, Mossy Pond, Chase Motorsports, car 10S for Garrett Smith, a one-time winner this year.
Behind him is going to be the driver out of Dade City, Florida in the 17 SR, the Slim Reaper. That's going to be Brody Smith in that Schaefer's Oil Big Daddy's Cattle, Clyde Johnson Contracting and Roofing, Total Claim Source sponsored number 17 SR. He's going to be followed by another driver sporting a new wrap this weekend out of Brandon, Florida. It's the killer Kyle Bronson in the Michael Lloyd Hauling and Demo LTX Home Builders Race Car Engineering sponsored 40B.
In the 44, brand new race car debuting tonight, the Infinity by Wells Clements powered entry for Chris Madden in car 44, the Wells & Sons Motorsports, Henderson Amusement, VP Racing Lubricants, Penske Shocks entry. 3 wins on the year for Chris Madden in car number 44. And the 51 behind him, it's Rowdy Tyler Erb and the Best Performance Motorsports, Langenfelter Mechanical Contractors, First Class Septic, Anthony's Pizza, Coles County Speedway, Clements Powered Rocket, Tyler Erb fresh off $100,000 last Friday.
A couple of other drivers on the track. The number 20 TC, that is Tricky Tristan Chamberlain. Second generation driver out of Richmond, Indiana in the Gibson Racing. Vision Woodworks, Vision Home Pardos Towing Services sponsored number 20 TC. There's Tristan Chamberlain. We also got the 25Z World of Outlaws winner at Bedford just a couple weeks ago. That's going to be Mason Ziegler out of Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania in that green lane. Harris Walmsley Enterprises. RBS Truck Collision, RBS Auto and Truck Sales sponsored number 25Z.
Buchanan, Virginia's David Watts in the car 6, a home-built race car. Also in that set, one more of a 7J. Ryan Johnson out of Aurora, Missouri, the Modco-powered Longhorn Underground Concrete Johnson Construction of Woody's Express on that race car. It looks like the killer Kyle Bronson in car 40B, the race car engineering entry, fastest in that set, as there's David Watts in the number 6 car. First time to FloRacing night in America. Maybe first time to Eldora, DJ. I'm not totally sure that I've seen that driver here before.
You don't need decals to make those cars go fast.
He made it in his garage, man. They told me today, it's a home-built race car. Don't even ask anymore. I said, no, I won't ask no questions. You won't tell no lies.
I love it. I actually love everything about that, man. That's the American dream right there. So I think we have 2 more sets of Dirt Draft time laps still to go after this. Mark Whitener currently sits atop the leaderboard, as you see there on the left side of your screen.
Oh, no.
And, a flat left rear tire on David Watts' number 6, so he's going to limp that car.
He hangs the arm out the window, says, I'm headed left, boys. You know what? We got Weaver up here. Weaver, you thought you were going to hang out tonight. You're up here. You're like you just came from Panama City. You got your shirt on. You're chilling. Obviously, different perspective. Sitting up here, what do you see on the racetrack right now?
Well, definitely the racetrack's come around really quick and kind of looks to me like a Dale McDowell, Nick Hoffman track.
Okay.
But
why? Why?
Well, just because the middle is already slicked off and it's blue crumbs up to the top, and not actually mud, which would build the Bobby Pierce racetrack. So I just think the 9 car, Dale's always good here, don't matter what it is, but the 9 car's just been so good, like racing around in the middle where it's really smooth, slick, not a lot of traction. So it's really going to be a good racetrack to race on.
Thanks, Randy. Next group of drivers making their way out on the track. You just saw the SSI Motorsports Professional Concrete Cutting and Drilling 71 of Hudson O'Neill, 14 wins this year. After him is going to be the driver of the 99. That's Devin Moran out of Dresden, Ohio, in the Roger Sellers Lazy Days RV Big River Steel CNW Trucking number 99.
This set of cars on the racetrack.
This is unreal.
Jonathan Davenport out on the racetrack. Of course, Dirt Late Model Dream winner multiple times, 5-time World 100 winner, 3-time Dream winner, and he's got 10 wins this year. The Cornette powered Longhorn Ace Touring Hauling and Rigging Nutrient Ag Solutions ASC warranty for the Mark Martin Automotive entry. We'll keep an eye on him. The Cornette powered Longhorn this weekend. Cornette under the hood. Car number 1, current FloRacing Night in America point leader. That's Brandon Shepard, the Valvoline Performance Grading, Sawyer Calf Wrenches, Ace Metalworks, Franklin Enterprises, Fox Shocks. Cart number 1, 8 wins this year for that driver.
And the hits just keep coming. The most recent member of the $100,000 club next on your screen. That's Nick Hoffman in the Tide Touring Racing, NOS Energy Drink, CNW Trucking sponsored number 9. There's the number 25. That's going to be the high side hustler, Jason Fager. Second in the Mars points in that Titan Industries SC Online Sales sponsored 25.
Jonathan Davenport, of course, defending champion of this event. I said 3, man. It's hard to keep up with it all. It's 4 now. You see on your screen, Zach Mitchell. That was the dark horse that they talked about in the pre-race show today. The Nichols Plumbing, Clary Hood Incorporated, Clements powered Longhorn out of Henry, South Carolina. 2 wins already this year. And behind him, cart number 17 SS. That will be Brendan Smith. Brendan back in the family-owned ride, and keep an eye on him here this weekend. The Yellowhammer Construction still on that race car, Smith Speed, Rocket Chassis.
Yeah, there's 2 other drivers on your screen that are on the track for this set of hot laps. In the number 95, you heard Rigsby talk about him earlier. That's going to be Alex Vance out of Bethel, North Carolina, the 95, and Chase Younghands was alongside him out of Manhattan, Kansas, and that Younghands Ranches, Sunoco Racefuels Bozard Ford, number 18.
So who went to the top of the leaderboard? I'm going to unmute you here. Who went to the top of the leaderboard, Randy?
It looked like Nick Hoffman in that 9 car right through the middle where it was slick. But, man, Nick and them's got a lot of momentum. They've been running really good. And coming off that 100,000 win, I'm sure his confidence level is on the very top.
Hey, Weaver, it's almost like you know what you're talking about here.
Well, I've been to a couple of races.
One or two.
Like you guys, we're race fans too. But, no, just really good. And I did talk to Jonathan Davenport earlier, and that is the 21 Longhorn. So
wow.
I think he said the number was 472 built, and they're like on 1,300 or 1,400 now. So.
Someone out there that has Longhorn number 473 is just clamoring to come to Eldora.
Down to the pits.
All right, guys, Carson Hocevar down here comes in 9th in the NASCAR Cup points. How about this, your first impressions tonight of Eldora in your hot lap session?
Well, I didn't suck, at least in hot laps. We'll see if I can mess it up here in a minute. But it felt really good. I've been struggling. You know, these Longhorns are really good, but hell, everybody in the pit had Longhorns. So, you know, I kind of got exposed a little bit, but also, too, I ran with Nice and Cody Summer, and they tightened me way up. And just, you know, that's how I learned to drive a dirt late model. So these things have a lot of turn in them. And so I was way loose. So we went to work on it a little bit. You know, I say they worked on it. I just, you know, complained a little bit, and they got it dialed in. And, yeah, we unloaded pretty fast there. So hopefully we can, you know, just keep it up tonight and maybe sell some T-shirts.
It's just a tad different than Talladega, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit more fun.
All right, Carson Hocevar. Keep an eye on him tonight in the chilly 77, guys.
We got him from the dark side over. Casey Burnett, you saw him in the 13 car that Hocevar drove previously here. There's a 39 car of Mike Hildebrand out of Goshen, Ohio. Vic Hill powered Longhorn Victory Land title EXP Realty car 39. Let's see who else they throw at us, DJ.
Yeah, we'll see who else we got out there. There's Dennis Erb Jr., former Dirt Late Model Dream winner, in the number 28 out of Carpentersville, Illinois. Behind him is going to be the 45 out of Clinton, Illinois, Kyle Hammer. There's Kyle Hammer. And that Hammer's Crypto, not Bitcoin Benz. That's Hammer's Crypto Club 45, going by him, the 32. By the way, Bobby Pierce has only led 5 laps in the Dirt Late Model Dream because he turned that luck around here this year.
Well, he really hopes that he will. The 71 R car is one of the races he hasn't won yet. Rod Conley, the Williamsburg, Ohio driver, the Conley River Terminal, Conley Trucking Dreamy powered Rocket Chassis. Checkered flag dropping on that set. Who else do we have in that one? I believe we saw Joe Chalmers out there, the Perth Western Australia driver in the 23. Racing tires and accessories. Modco-powered Rocket Chassis. How about your boy in the 95,
The
DJ?
Jedi Jerry Bowersock out of Wapakoneta, Ohio. Got that Valvoline American Ironman Late Model Series win at Atomic earlier this year. The 60-year-old in that LCD partnership sponsored number 95J, multi-time Eldora Speedway track champion in a mod and a late model. And that is a wrap on Dirt Draft Hot Laps here this evening. Cars are going to start to make their way to staging for this evening's qualifying. If you are watching at home on FloRacing, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with FloRacing Night in America from the Big E right after this.
Since 1978, Sweet Manufacturing has been the leader in high-performance power steering. Employee-owned and built in the USA, we proudly deliver the best in-class steering equipment. With constant innovation and development, we push performance to the next level because champions demand the best. When precision matters and performance counts, trust the experts. Sweet Manufacturing. Let us turn your wheels.
I have terrible vision. I got hooked up with Death Ridge, and being able to see when you're racing is pretty important. Glare is somewhat of a big deal, and with these, there's really no glare at all. They just fit really well. They don't go over your ear. They just go straight around your head. Full believer in them. I feel like they help a lot compared to what I'm used to. I have nothing but good to say about them.
The
the fastest growing.
Bigger than a trophy. And since 1998, Race Car Engineering has been serving the racing community that keeps this sport alive. With over 100 years of combined racing experience. Now with a brand new website featuring free freight on all orders over $199. RaceCarENG.com. Race Car Engineering, built for racers.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Eldora Speedway and FloRacing Night in America. As we have crossed the cars over, we've got the first group through tech, and it's time to get underway with Sunoco Race Fuels time trials here this evening. Ben, you mentioned earlier the field split in half, Group A and Group B. The front half of the field will be Group A. They'll qualify against themselves. How they qualify will set the lineups for heat races 1, 2, and 3. Group B, the back half of the field, will qualify against themselves, and how they qualify will set the lineups for heat races 4, 5, and 6.
Well, your first qualifier tonight's going to be Jason Jameson out of Warrensburg, Indiana. The Ratliff Racing, JRR Motor Sales, MGL Auto Sales, Grantley Farms, ICS Longhorn race car. Be joined by the 17M, the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer, Dale McDowell out of Chickamauga, Georgia. The Reese Monument Company, Ace Dorn Hauling and Rigging, Rimtech Enterprises, Cometic, Clods, AAA General Contractors. For Dale McDowell, one win on the year. He's one of 8 drivers to win the Dream and the World. And Jeffrey Erickson, welcome to FloRacing Night in America. First timer out of Muskegon, Michigan. The rolling by Timken Artistic Exteriors, Coleman Farms Racing, Jewett Heating and Cooling in the Woods. All sponsors of the Varney Powered Rocket Chassis for Jeffrey Erickson Jr.
So those are the first 3 drivers on the track, and guess what? We're going to triple box it for those of you watching at home. White flag comes out. Jason Jameson, 15.757, his first lap time. Back Daddy Dale McDowell, 1.5.809, and Jeffrey Erickson's going to trip the trigger his first trip around the track at a 16.222. Lap number 2 for racing Jason Jameson is not as good. Lap number 2 for Dale McDowell is a little better, stays second, 1.5768. And Jeffrey Erickson's second lap time is 1/1000th of a second better, 16.221 his best lap. Jason Jameson, the time to beat after 3 with a 1.5.757.
Up next, it's Flying Ryan Montgomery out of Fairmont, West Virginia, the 12M. The 55 of Benji Hicks out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. The 22 of Chris Ferguson out of Mount Holly, North Carolina. Ryan Montgomery, the Harris Walmsley Racing, Bomax Equipment Company, 84 Lumber, Legendary Transport, Montgomery Homes, Clements Powered, Longhorn number 12M. The 55 of Benji Hicks, the BHR Fabrication, TNK Enterprises, Coleman Farms Racing, Barrett's Performance Warehouse, Clements Powered, Double Nickel, and the 22 of Chris Ferguson out of Mount Holly, North Carolina. The Live Oak Aesthetic and Family Dentistry, Animal Care Clinic, Splits, Schaefer's Racing Oil, Heckles Plumbing, and Fast Laps Open Hearts, Clements Powered Stinger for Chris Ferguson.
So again, they're gunning for Jason Jameson's early time to beat a 15.757. You see that on the left side of your screen. Ryan Montgomery going to be 4th quick on lap number 1. Benji Hicks' first lap time is good enough for 5th fastest. And Fergie's first lap goes to the top of the leaderboard, 1.5673. Lap 2 for Flying Ryan Montgomery, 4th quick, better lap, 1.6188. Second lap for the double nickel of Benji Hicks, 6th quick, best lap 1.6634. And Chris Ferguson now the time to beat in Group A with a 1.5.673.
Up next, Max Blair out of Centerville, Pennsylvania, the 111, the T1 of Todd Morrow out of Penton, Alabama, and the 15 of Justin Duty out of Malino, Oregon. Max Blair in the Centerline Motorsports, Upstate Auto Group, Riggs Fiber, Lakeside Auto Body, Virgilia Iron and Steel, Clements Powered, Longhorn. 1 win this year for Max Blair, the 4-time United Late Model Series champion, winningest driver in the history of that tour. Meanwhile, the T1 of Todd Morrow, as you see Anthony Burroughs down there shining up the race car for the 20 RT, or the best you can when there's mud splattered all over it. The AAA General Contractor, CTC Disaster Response, J3 Investment Group, Vic Hill Powered, Team 0 for Todd Morrow, and then the 15 of Justin Duty out of Malino, Oregon, the First Class Septic, Don Frank Fords, Darren and Mardell Williams, Jeff Stewart Trucking, Robert Speed Company, Clements Powered, Longhorn for Justin Duty.
Drivers staying on the best of their 2 laps. First lap time for Max Blair. He goes to the top of the leaderboard, 1.5601. Todd Morrow's first lap, 7th quick, 1.6449. And the first trip around for Justin Duty is 7th fastest, 1.6239. Max Blair, lap 2, even better. Good lap bend, 1.5495. Lap 2 for Todd Morrow is going to be 8th quick, 1.6449, his best lap, and Duty's best lap time will be lap 2. He bumps up to 5th quick with a 1.6064. Max Blair now the time to beat with a 1.5.495.
Up next, it'll be Michael Leach out of Sun River, Montana, the 09, the 13X of Dallin Murdy out of Chelsea, Iowa, and the 7 of Tyler Thomason out of Phoenix City, Alabama. Michael Leach, the 09 Longhorn Factory team. Dust Pods, Willow Ranch Wagyu, Owenbro Motorsports, Owens by Longhorn Dynamics, VP Racing Fuels, Hellraiser Jacks, Durham Powered Longhorn. 1 win this year for Michael Leach. In the number 13 car, it's Dallin Murdy, and he comes to us out of Chelsea, Iowa, the Skyline Motorsports. Stealth Oil Wheel Services, Quality Sweat Services, Murdy Farms, Penske Quick Supply Company, Truck Country, Clements Powered Longhorn. 2 stock car wins this year at Scotland County Raceway for Dallin Murdy. Surprised DJ wasn't at those. And the 7 of Tyler Thomason out of Phoenix City, Alabama, the Cornet Powered Longhorn. Tim Thomason, Construction and Landscaping, Thomason Properties, the Racing Zone number 7.
Michael Leach going to be 7th quick on lap number 1. Dallin Murdy's first lap time is 10th fastest. Remember, that team had to change a 5th coil on that race car. And Tyler Thomason's first lap time is 12th quick. Lap number 2, 09. Michael Leach, winner of Volusia earlier this year. 7th quick, best lap, 1:06.207. Second lap for Dallin Murdy, much better. 4th quick, 1:05.762. And the final lap time for Tyler Thomason is 12th fastest. His best lap is 1:06.720. After 12 cars, Max Blair, Chris Ferguson, Jason Jameson, your top 3.
Up next will be Fast Freddie Carpenter in the C4 out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. The 5 of Mark Whitener, the Magic Man out of Middleburg, Florida. And the 25C, the Georgia Bulldog, Shane Clanton from Zebulon, Georgia. Freddie Carpenter, the Gates Trucking, Witts Mobile Home Movers, Wintertown Ford, Fights Farm. You see Ashton Winger taking in action there on the broadcast. And the Conway Trucking, Houndshaw Motorsports, Vicule Powered Kryptonite for Freddie Carpenter in the C4. Meanwhile, Mark Whitener, good year, going 4 wins on the year. Current Southern Thunder Series points leader, the Whitener's Tractor Service, Southeast Ship Repair, Ocala Restaurant Supply, Jet Concrete Works, Angry Elephant Tattoos and Piercings, Pro Power Racing Engine Longhorn for Mark Whitener. And the 25C, Shane Clanton, one of 8 drivers to win the Dream and the World. 2 wins this year in Australia for that driver. Super K Express, M&S Concrete, SCCS, Carolina Concrete Finishers, Freeman Plumbing, Clements Powered Capital for Shane Clanton.
Fast Freddie 13th quick, Mark Whitener 6th quick, Shane Clayton 7th quick on lap number 1. Lap number 2 for the fastest ponytail, Freddie Carpenter in the C4. Much better, 7th quick, 1:06.025. Lap 2 for Whitener, better. He's 6th quick, 1:05.829. And the second and final lap time for Shane Clanton, not as good. He will be 8th quick with a 1:06.063. 15 drivers have now attempted a lap. Max Blair sits atop the leaderboard in Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group A with a 1:05.495.
Up next out of St. Augustine, Florida, the 14 junior Trey Mills, the Newport Nightmare, Jimmy Owens in the 20 out of Newport, Tennessee, and the 22 star Drake Troutman out of Hindman, PA. Trey Mills, the Mills Concrete, Boswell Oil, Coltman Farms, VP Racing Fuels, 5-star Shop Service, Hoosier by Competition Cuts, Factory Fits, Clements Powered Longhorn, currently 10th in the Outlaw standings is Trey Mills. Meanwhile, Jimmy Owens in cart number 20, former Dirt Late Model Dream Champion, the Pro Built Powered Masters Built race car from McCarter Brothers Racing, Hodges Farms, McCarter Farms, Redline Oil, Elite Ready Mix, all sponsors for Jimmy Owens at number 20, and the 22 star of Drake Troutman. He comes to us out of Hindman, PA. And the Longhorn Cornet Power Team 22 Inc., Victory Circle Auto Sales, Gambler Transport, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Brickhouse Tavern for 22. One-time winner this year, Drake Troutman.
Trey Mills goes 6th fastest on lap 1. Jimmy Owens is 15th quick, and now Drake Troutman goes 15th quick. Let's see what Mills has on lap number 2. Better been 3rd quick. Good lap, 1:05.739. Second lap time for Owens. You mentioned in the McCarter Masters built this weekend, 14th fastest, 1:06.306. And the second and final lap for Drake Troutman, a tick better. He'll bump up to 15th with a 1:06.338. 18 drivers have now attempted a lap. Max Blair, Chris Ferguson, Trey Mills, now your top 3.
Up next, Dan Ebert out of Lakeshore, Minnesota in the 60, the 10C of Ryan Crane out of Panama City, Florida, and the 18 of Shannon Babb, the Mowequa Missile out of Mowequa, Illinois. Dan Ebert in car 60. Collins Brothers Towing, Minnesota Truck Headquarters, Amsoil, Woody's Racing, Fox Shocks, General Formulations, Country Prod Excavating, Durham Powered Rocket Chassis for Dan Ebert. Meanwhile, in the Capital Race car, car number 10 out of Panama City, Florida, it's Ryan Crane, the Panama City Cycles and Marine, SCCS, Clements Powered Capital Race car, and the 18 is Shannon Babb. Out of Mowequa, Illinois, Vicule Powered Longhorn, Dynagrows Seed, Petrov Towing, Donnelly Trucking, Getty Landscaping, Keeper Ultra Oil, Nutrient Ag Solutions, all sponsors for Shannon Babb's 18 with 1 win on the year.
Dan Ebert's going to be 16th on lap number 1. Ryan Crane will check in 18th on lap 1. And Shannon Babb's first lap is 17th quick. So all 3 drivers, Ben, going to try to pick it up here on lap number 2. And Ebert does. Second lap better. He moves up to 11th, 1:06.121. Second lap for Ryan Crane. Better. Good lap for Ryan Crane, a 1:60.56. And Shannon Babb also improves on lap number 2. He'll be 17th with a 1:63.09. So 21 drivers have now attempted a lap. Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group A. Max Blair still the time to beat, 1:54.95.
Union, South Carolina's Trent Ivey in the 88. The 21 of Mario Gresham out of Rome, Georgia. And the 15K of Will Harrington out of Hawkinsville, Georgia up next. Trent Ivey in the Ridgeway Motorsports, Ridgeway Electric. Palmetto Pole and Piling, KRC Power Steering, Victory Seats, Hardison Suspension Technology, Vic Hill Power Train, race car number 88. The 21 of Super Mario Gresham out of Rome, Georgia. The Darrell Mackey Excavating and Tree Service, Gridiron Grub and Pump, Bama Sheds and Pole Barns, Cornet Powered Longhorn 21. And the 15K of Will Harrington. The 5M Construction. All About Doors, Langenfelter Mechanical Contractors, Jerry Siding and Roofing, Haywood Marine Construction, Clements Powered Longhorn. 4 wins this year for Will Harrington.
Trent Ivey 19th his first time around. Mario Gresham 22nd on lap 1, and a good lap for Will Harrington. He is 8th quick with a 1:59.89, best of the trio. Second lap for Trent Ivey, better, 20th, 1:63.40. Second lap time for Super Mario is not as good, 23rd, 1:67.20. Will Harrington's second lap also not as good. He will stay 8th with a best lap of 1:05.989 after 24 drivers. It's still Max Blair, Chris Ferguson, Trey Mills, your top 3 in Group A.
Up next, Dalton Cook out of Salem, Alabama in the 44D. The 76 of Brandon Overton out of Evans, Georgia. And Austin Smith out of Cedartown, Georgia in the 11. Dalton Cook, the Live Life Healthy Healthcare, say that 4 times real fast. CRM Motors, New Point Lighting, TMT Utilities, Clements Powered Longhorn for the 44D of Alabama's Dalton Cook. The 76 of Brandon Overton, the Budweiser Riggs Fiber, Garntos Southern, RW Powell Construction Supply Chain Management, Arco Construction, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Dude Wipes entry. 7 wins for Brandon Overton, 3-time Dirt Late Model Dream Champion in the 76, and the 11 of Austin Smith out of Cedartown, Georgia. The SCCS Solutions, Hesco Solutions, Cedartown Electric, Clements Powered Capital for Austin Smith in car 11.
First lap time is going to come up for the 44D of Dalton Cook, and he's 22nd quick. First trip around for the 3-time Dream winner Brandon Overton. 8th quick, good lap, 1:05.897. And Austin Smith will trip the trigger 22nd with a 16.444. Lap 2 for the double 4 of Dalton Cook, better, 18th, 1:06.225. Brandon Overton's second lap time, not as good. He'll stay 8th, 1:05.897 is Overton's best lap. And the best lap time for Austin Smith is 23rd, 16.444. 27 drivers into Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group A. And Max Blair still has the time to beat, 15.495.
Brimfield, Illinois' Tim Lance in the 48 up next with the 58 of Garrett Alberson out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, and the 157 of Mike Marlar out of Winfield, Tennessee. Tim Lance, the Jules Ice Cream and Coffee, Lance Timber and Veneer, Outpace Racing Products, DCS, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Pro Power Racing Engine, Longhorn, number 48. The 58 of Garrett Alberson, the Roberts Motorsports, Brack Properties, Low Voltage Solution, Bill Sport Shop, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Romer Machine and Welding, Bill Stein, Clements Powered Longhorn. 1 win on the year for Garrett Alberson in the 157 car. Mike Marlar out of Winfield, Tennessee, the Clements Powered Longhorn. Delco Equipment Sales, Langenfelter Mechanical Contractors, Can-Am Auto Salvage, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Petrov Towing, VP Midwest Sheet Metal entry for Mike Marlar, a 3-time winner this year.
Tim Lance 26th, Garrett Alberson 25th, and Mike Marlar 26th. So a couple guys looking to pick it up here in this group. Lap 2 for the former Chicago Bears. Draft pick Tim Lance, not as good, 28 quick, 1:66.81. Alberson does improve on lap 2. He's 15th, 1:61.67. And Marlar also improves on lap 2 to 20th, 1:62.29 after 30 cars. It's still Max Blair, Chris Ferguson, Trey Mills, the top 3.
Up next, Ethan Dotson out of Bakersfield, California, the 74X, the 10J of Joseph Joyner out of Milton, Florida, and the 16-car Sam Seawright from Fort Payne, Alabama. Ethan Dotson, 1 win on the year, came with a Wobbly Shootout. As you see, Jason Fager looking over things with his crew chief, Jason Palyabicki. ASD Motorsports, Jarrett Rifles, Taco John's XL4 covering, North Augusta Customs, Brad Benton Trucking, Car 74X for Ethan Dotson, and the 10J of Joseph Joyner, Hunt the Front Nation, and the Horsepower Hydration, Mountain Bank, Base Racing Fuels, Trading Paints, Laris Motorsports, Clements Powered Longhorn. 2 wins on the year. They both came in Indiana last week in the Hoosier State, and the 16 car is Sam Seawright, 2-time defending Ice Bowl champion. the Coleman Farms Racing Special Needs School of Gwinnett, Autism Awareness number 16, with a Clements Power Plant under the hood of the Longhorn chassis.
So those three drivers going to take the green flag. First driver to nail down a lap is going to be Ethan Dotson. He'll be 23rd on lap 1 with a 16.317. First trip around for Ashton Winger is 26th, 16382. And second lap, or first lap time for Sam Seawright, 33rd, 16878. Lap 2, Ethan Dotson, not as good. Stays 23rd, 16317 his best lap. Second lap for Ashton Winger, much better, almost cracks the top 10. Winger is 11th with a 16054. And Seawright's second lap time is a tick better, but he stays 33rd. His best lap is a 16.758. We are 33 drivers deep into Sunoco Race Fuels time trials for Group A. About a dozen drivers left, Ben, or about 10 drivers left, rather. And they're all still gunning for Max Blair, who's got almost 2/10 on the field with a 15.495.
Up next, Dylan McCowan in car number 8 out of Urbana, Missouri. The Sonic, Pomeroy Services, BLC Transportation, Empire Energy, Elite Construction, Heritage Tractor, Scott Bailey powered Longhorn, currently running for Rookie of the Year with Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And Ashton Winger out of Hampton, Georgia. 1 win on the year for Jeff Matthews Racing, West Pro JCB, Capital Sports Construction, Recreational Vehicle Select, Kaiser Manufacturing, Durham Powered Rocket. And then Ryan Gustin, the Reaper, out of Marshalltown, Iowa. In car number 19R, the Infinity by Wells, Vic Hill powered entry. 4 wins this year for the Allen Seamless Gutters, Hoker Trucking, Dynamic Drivelines, Custom Fabricating Repair, and Carl Chevrolet 19R.
First lap times going up for that trio of drivers. 29th quick for the 58V, 30th quick for the 388. We'll see what Lane Snook has on lap number 2. His second lap time is 36, 17.116. Jackson Heiss, 30th. His best lap, 16.590. And Dalton Wilson will stay 29th, Ben. His best lap is a 16.504. No changes inside the top 10. It's still Max Blair, Chris Ferguson, and Trey Mills tentatively on the pole of heats 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, we had a few drivers get swapped around there. Unofficially, we'll have Josh Rice and perhaps Jeff Roth. We'll see if Roth makes it. So Josh Rice up next, the 11R car out of Crittenden, Kentucky. The MC Tank Transport at Glenwood Electric, Sunoco, JR Motor Sales, Chain Walker, Rice Excavating and Plumbing entry. And not seeing Roth there. Thought some Roth with the infield, perhaps not. As Josh Rice, DJ, unofficially will be the final car in the set to make his way out.
Well, he's going to have to crack the top 6 if he wants to get on the front row of a heat race. Right now, that time is held by Dale McDowell, 15.768. Rice's first lap is close, 16106. He needs to find about 4/10 here on lap number 2. Rice currently 15th in that James Ratliff Racing number 11R. He'll roll through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Second lap is not as good, and Rice will stay 15th in Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group A with a 16.106. And do we have Jeff?
I don't know if we got a few guys out of order right at the tail of this group. We'll see, because I know the last group of cars. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Inside information, yeah. So we've got Ryan Gustin, Joseph Joyner, and Jeff Roth all going to make their way out. And you talked about it earlier, Ben. Infractions in tech give them only one qualifying
You get one lap, and the best you can start in a heat is 4. So that tells you between the time they got teched and the time that they made their way over to tech for qualifying, the pre-race tech, the numbers weren't the same. The only driver I didn't give you the information on in this set, Jeff Roth, out of Bentonville, Arkansas, the Rocket Chassis, Modco Power Plant under the hood, the homes by Roth Cattle Company, and Kimball Mechanical on the 14R. So, wow.
All right, well, one lap for this trio of drivers. Joseph Joyner going to be 37th, 16959. Ryan Gustin will be 31st, 16541. And Jeff Roth, first time he has seen laps at the racetrack here this evening, will be 40th with a 17542, and that's a wrap on Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group A.
Yeah, so again, there was a lot of dimensions checked on these bodies back in tech. Those 3 drivers apparently had something out of whack. So, DJ, there's your top 10 in Group A.
Unofficially, your top 6 qualifiers in Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group A will start on the front row of heats 1, 2, and 3, providing they made their way to the Longacre Racing Products Tech and Scale area. Max Blair quickest, Chris Ferguson second, Trey Mills third, Jason Jamison fourth, Dallin Murdy, the game changer, fifth, and Dale McDowell sixth. Again, if those times do hold up, Those 6 drivers will start on the front row of heats 1, 2, and 3. A little bit later on this evening, then it's Mark Whitener, Brandon Overton, Will Harrington, and Freddie Carpenter rounds out the top 10 guys down the U.
I'll wait till Adam Martz gets down here. We're talking our fast qualifier in Group A. Max Blair, good job, great start to the night.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We're off to a good start. The pill draw obviously played a big factor in that, but they rolled around there pretty good, so hopefully maybe we can get in the race and see what we got.
So you think we ought to invert like 10 or 12, make you feel at home, start about 5th or 6th row instead of the front row?
This is a nice change.
Very good. Let's thank all your great sponsors on Brad Spojazz's car.
Yeah, I got to thank my dad, number one. But like you said, I got a bunch of good people that helped me out. Centerline Motorsports, Jason Riggs with Riggs Fiber, Creekside Auto Sales, Virgilli Scrap and Iron, C&J Dairy, Murphy's Logging, just the Gable Inn, Tavern 618, Deer Lakes Bowl, Upstate Auto Group, Andy's Towing. There's so many people, and I know I'm forgetting some people. Bish Heating and Cooling, Presto Racing Stables, and I couldn't do without all of them.
What would it mean tonight to get your first ever win at Eldora?
It would. Let's just go for the heat race for right now.
There you go. Max Blair currently 6th in the Lucas Oil points. He'll be on the pole if he won it. If he wins that one, he'll be on the pole of the A main here tonight, guys.
All right, fins up for Max Blair as they're going to cross the field over. They're going to get half the field back to the infield, half for the drivers that need to back up top. Don't go anywhere. We'll have Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group B coming up right after this on FloRacing.
Welcome back to Eldora Speedway, FloRacing Night in America, our 6th season and technically our 2nd event as we got two of them rained out during Illinois Speedway, but they're rescheduled. No harm, no foul. It is time for Sunoco Race Fuels Group B qualifying. And your first qualifier in this group will be Stephen Roberts out of Sylvester, Georgia. Then it'll be Luke Morey, the up-and-coming youngster, talented driver residing in North Carolina, but from Zeeland, Michigan in the 49M. And the 16B of Tyler Bruning out of Decorah, Iowa. The lineup for heat races 4, 5, and 6 comes out of Sunoco Race Fuels Group B. And your first qualifier, Stephen Roberts out of Sylvester, Georgia. The Roberts Speed Company, Lennox River Ranch, Dole's Peanut Company, KBC Graphics, Go Lithium. Car 111R, the 49M of Luke Morey will be second qualifier. With Zeeland, Michigan driver, 2 wins on the year, and they both come in West Virginia. Princeton and Beckley, where that driver of the 49M has won. The Coleman Farms Racing, Ferris Mowers, Sunoco, Metal Militia, Bill Stein Autism Awareness, and Special Needs School of Gwinnett, all sponsors on Luke Morey's number 49M. And your third qualifier in this first set will be the 16 of Tyler Bruning, Fear of the Beard out of Decorah, Iowa. The Skyline Motorsports Quick Supply Company, Truck Country, Bruning Rock Products, Brown's Heavy Equipment, Olson Explosives, Clements Powered Longhorn. As DJ, the first 3 sitting down in the staging lanes, we'll send them out momentarily. And you're going to see this racetrack undergo a lot of changes tonight after Sunoco Race Fuels Group B. Expect you'll see an overhaul of the racetrack. And man, what a tough field here in the pit area. Hard to believe only 24 drivers will start tonight's 50-lapper.
Yeah, and once again, for those folks that maybe are just coming in or just joining the FloRacing broadcast, this is a completely separate program, of course, from the rest of the Dirt Late Model Dream, a standalone show as we've done the last couple years with FloRacing Night in America. And you maybe said it best earlier, it's kind of a paid test in tune for these drivers as we're going to send that first trio out on the track. We've wiped the slate clean, and we're going to try it now with Group B, the second half of the field. And as you mentioned, Ben, they are gunning for their starting spots in heat races 4, 5, and 6. The overall quickest qualifier thus far in Sunoco Race Fuels time trials is Max Blair with a 1:5.495. So the first trios made their way out on the racetrack. The 111 of Stephen Roberts, the 49 of Luke Morey, and the 17W of Greg Williams will be the first trio of drivers out on the racetrack, Ben.
Yeah, we had some drivers shake up here with 16W in the set. Greg Williams, Wilderman Farms, Martin Dairy Farms, Ed Carley Motorsports, Spec Racing Engine Longhorn, Tyler Bruning, Tyler Erb, it's bad to be Tyler, and Carson Hosevar, all in fractions and tech. They will come at the end with 1 lap.
All right, first lap times going up. And Luke Morey with a 1:6.513. Stephen Roberts 17.323. Greg Williams 17.180. So Roberts third quick, Greg Williams second quick, and Luke Morey the fastest after the first 3 drivers in Group B with a 1:6.513.
Up next to Brian Shirley out of Chatham, Illinois, the 3S, the 20RT of Ricky Thornton Jr. out of Chandler, Arizona, the 19P of Matthew Porter out of Austinville, Virginia. Brian Shirley, the Bob Cullen Racing, Hoker Trucking, Thompson Express, Valvoline, J&E Construction, Race Ranch entry. Currently 8th in the Lucas Oil standings, 4-time Summer Nationals champion Brian Shirley in Car 3S. The 20RT, former FloRacing Night in America champion, Lucas Oil 800 Dirt Series champion, your defending World 100 champion, Ricky Thornton Jr. out of Indianola, Iowa. Now, the Knights companies, Bill Stein, Hoker Trucking, High Performance Lubricants, Elite Ready Mix, Cornet, Powered Longhorn, and Matthew Porter. Man, the penalties are pouring in. Matthew Porter out of Austinville, Virginia, the Porter Services, Aschenbach Ford, and North Carolina Structure, all sponsors for Matthew Porter.
Brian Shirley going to be second. Ricky Thornton Jr. will be third. Matthew Porter 6th on lap number 1. Getting word Garrett Smith with an infraction. He will go to the back with 1 lap. It's going to make things fun here at the end. Brian Shirley, lap 2 better. That's the time to beat in Group B now, 1:6.505. Ricky Thornton Jr. second quick Group B, 1:6.513, and Matthew Porter will be 6th. His best lap is a 17.859. So Brian Shirley now the time to beat in Group B with a 1:6.505. Ben, real quick, worth noting that on that third decimal point, we may be off 1 number. That's because the My Race Pass app that you and I use in front of us, it actually rounds, or it does not round up or down, whereas the broadcast that you see on the left side of your screen, the video board here at the racetrack, it does round up or down.
Duly noted, DJ. Eli Johnson out of Clewiston, Florida, the 55E. Up next, the 9M of Tim McCready out of Watertown, New York, and the 0 Jake O'Neill out of Tucson, Arizona. So up first, Eli Johnson, the E55 race car out of Houston, Florida. The Clyde Johnson Contracting and Roofing, Gutter Tech, 7 Peak Steel, Premier Metal Roof Manufacturing, Total Claim Source entry, joined by the 9 car of Tim McCready. The Flawless Roofing, Excess Storage, Dave Warren Power Sports Corp, Rubber Corporation, Sherlock Ventures, and Johnstown Hydraulics, all sponsors. From a World 100 winner, Tim McCready in the Clements Powered Longhorn, and Jake O'Neill in car 0 out of Tucson, Arizona, the Vic Hill Powered Longhorn, Hodges Farms and Dredging, Recourse Center, Sierra Mining Construction, Red Eye Radiator and DPF Specialist, and Texas General Mechanical.
Eli Johnson 5th quick, Tim McCready 4th, Jake O'Neill now 4th after lap number 1. Lap 2 for the rapidly improving driver, the 55E Eli Johnson. He'll jump back to 4th, best lap 16.660. Tim McCready's best lap's good enough for 5th quick, 16.829. And Jake O'Neill now jumps him and goes to 5th quick. Best lap for the Tucson, Arizona driver, 16.758. Brian Shirley, Ricky Thornton Jr., Luke Morey, your top 3 after 9.
Brian Dickinson will not get to qualify tonight, so your next qualifier, Brody Smith out of Dade City, Florida. Tyler Earp scheduled to be after him. Again, tech infraction on the bodies down in the tire tech area, so he'll come at the end with 1 lap. And then Mason Ziegler out of Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania will be in this set, the 25Z, and the 44, Chris Madden at a Great Court, South Carolina. Brody Smith, the Big Daddy's Cattle, Smith Speed Solutions, Plum Crazy Plumbing, Penske Shocks, Franklin Enterprises, Durham Power, Rocket Chassis for Brody Smith in the 17, the 25Z. On the racetrack of Mason Ziegler, 3 wins on the year, the Green Lane. Haranek Corporation, Harris Walmsley Enterprises, JLE Industries, RBS Truck and Repair, Clements Powered Rocket Chassis, and the 44 of Chris Madden, Infinity by Wells, Clements Powered Wells & Sons Motorsports, Henderson Amusement, VP Racing Lubricants, Penske Shocks, and Hardison Suspension Technologies for the 3-time winner this year, Chris Madden.
First lap times going up. It'll be Madden 4th, Bronson 5th, Ziegler 6th. We'll see what they have on lap number 2. Ziggy's going to be the first driver to trip the trigger, and his second lap time is still 6th. Not as good, 16.649. Madden's best lap, 4th quick, 16.529, and KB 40 to the top of the leaderboard. Kyle Bronson now the time to beat in Group B, Ben, with a 16.334 for the killer after 12 drivers.
Next, Kyle Bronson out of Brandon, Florida, the 40B, the 77 of Hocevar. He'll go to the end because of an infraction in tire tech with his body. And the 20 TC of Tristan Chamberlain will be in this set out of Richmond, Indiana, and the 6 of David Watts out of Buchanan, Virginia. So my goodness, some shakeups down there. Kyle Bronson, well, we just saw him go to the top of the board in the last set, so that'll be Tristan Chamberlain, the first car in this set. The 20 TC, Gibson Racing, Vision Homes, Vision Woodworks, KEG Technologies, Pardo's Towing Service, DCE Fabrication entry for Tristan Chamberlain. On this set, the 6 car of David Watts out of Buchanan, Virginia, and the 7J of Ryan Johnson out of Aurora, Missouri, the Underground Concrete, Johnson Construction, Woody's Express, Ormsby Trucking, Modco Powered Longhorn.
First lap time for Tristan Chamberlain, 10th quick. David Watts going to be 13th fastest. And Ryan Johnson now goes 13th quick. Lap number 2, Tristan Chamberlain. In the Wayne Gibson number 20 TC. Best lap, 10th quick. 16.923. David Watts' second lap is 14th quick, 17.599. And the final trip around for Ryan Johnson, he'll be 13th fastest with a 17.582. Kyle Bronson, Brian Shirley, Ricky Thornton Jr., your top 3 after 15 cars in Sunoco Race Fuel Time Trials Group B.
Up next, Hudson O'Neill out of Martinsville, Indiana, the 71, the 25 of Jason Fager out of Bloomington, Illinois, the 57 of Zach Mitchell out of Enoree, South Carolina. Hudson O'Neill, the current Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points leader. What else does he lead, DJ?
The FloRacing Night in America points.
No,
oh.
But he does lead the Hunt the Front Series standings in the 71 car, the SSI Motorsports Wheeler Metals, Merrill Bonney. It was a good try. Brandon Shepard said, how dare you, I lead the Flo 9 points. Subsurface of Indiana, Beeman Lumber, Professional Concrete and Drilling, Cornet Power under the hood tonight of the Longhorn number 71. 13 wins this year for Hudson O'Neill. Jason Fager in car number 25 out of Bloomington, Illinois, 3-time defending Mars champion. The Titan Industries, SC Online Services, Outpace Racing Products, Rosser Battery, Remtech, Go Lithium, Clements Powered Longhorn. 5 wins this year for Fager, 2 of those in New Zealand. And the 57 of Zach Mitchell in this set. And the Clary Hood Incorporated, Nichols Plumbing, Tap 3, Crescent Pools, Mark Tudor Racing, Clements Powered Longhorn for two-time winner Zach Mitchell.
Hudson O'Neill was 8th quick on lap number 1. Lap number 2, he'll stay 8th quick. Best lap 16.695. Feger was 10th his first time around. He'll stay 10th. Best lap 16.767. Zach Mitchell was 11th. He too will stay 11th with a best lap of 16.818. After 18 drivers, it's still KB40, Brian Shirley, and RTJ, the top 3 in Group B.
So understanding so far, the biggest problem has been deck heights on these guys having to go to the back for one lap. There was one wrong tire. I'd bet my life on it. It was not an NRM on the right rear. It has to be an NRM, NLMT 3 or 4. I would say we saw that happen at Spoon River.
Took words out of my mouth. Yeah.
Yep. Coming up next, Alex Vance in kart 95. It's a busy night out of Waynesville, North Carolina. The 99 of Devin Moran out of Dresden, Ohio. And the 9 of Nick Hoffman out of Mooresville, North Carolina. As Alex Vance making his way to the Speedway. Good to have him here with us. Unexpected entry here today in kart number 95. He will be the first driver of the North Carolina racer. And he comes to us in the Shane Willis Construction double. Boy again, Ben. And the 95J, he'll be in the double nickel Clements powered Blue Ridge Contracting, Excavating, and Hauling 95J. Devin Moran, the defending Lucas Oil Limited Dirt Series champion, the Millwood Plumbing, Big River Steel, Hazen Services, Bill Stein, CW Trucking, Storage King, Cornet Powered Longhorn, and the 9 of Nick Hoffman, fresh off 100,000 last Saturday at Mansfield, the Tide Torque Racing, Knox Energy Drink, Lone Wolf Petroleum, CW Trucking, Petrov Towing, Rimtech Enterprises, Clements Powered Longhorn.
Alex Vance, lap 2, 21st, 18.281. Devin Moran's best lap, 6th quick. Good lap for Dev, 1.6606. Hoffman was 15th on lap 1. He jumps up to 2nd on lap 2 with a 1.6.460. So that'll shake up the top of the leaderboard. It's now Kyle Bronson, Nick Hoffman, Brian Shirley, the top 3 in Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group B after 21 cars.
Up next, Jonathan Davenport out of Blairsville, Georgia, 4-time defending Dirt Late Model Dream champion, the 17 SS of Brendan Smith out of Dade City, Florida, and Brandon Shepard out of New Berlin, Illinois, the former FloRacing Night in America champion and current point leader. Jonathan Davenport, a Cornet Power Plant under the hood of the Longhorn, Ace Duran Hauling and Rigging, Nutrient Ag Solutions, AC Warranty, Mark Martin Automotive, Mega Plumbing of the Carolinas, Bill Stein, Car 49. 10 wins this year for Jonathan Davenport. The 17 SS of Brendan Smith, the Big Daddy's Cattle, Smith Speed Solutions, Yellowhammer Construction, Rocket Chassis, and the number 1 of Brandon Shepard, Sloper Calf Wrenches, Valvoline Performance Grading, Ace Metal Works, Franklin Enterprises, Fox Shocks, Gunners Honey, Durham Powered Rocket for Brandon Shepard.
First lap times going up for this trio of drivers. Brandon Shepard going to be 11th after lap number 1. Jonathan Davenport was 17th, Ben, his first time around. His second lap is better, but he stays 17th, 16.986. Second lap for Brendan Smith, 22nd, and Brandon Shepard stays 11th. Superman gonna have a tough row to hoe in this one. Sheppy, the quickest of that trio, 11th overall with a 16.747. 24 drivers in to Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group B.
Up next is Chase Younghands out of Manhattan, Kansas in the 18J. The S21 is Seth Daniels out of Jackson, Ohio, and Dennis Erb Jr. out of Carpentersville, Illinois in the 28. Chase Younghands, the Bozard Ford, Otis Oil Company, Paulson Rock Products, Stussy Construction, Younghands Ranches, CJR Motorsports, Clements Powered Rocket number 18J. And in the S21, it'll be Seth Daniels from Jackson, Ohio, the Ryan Powered Rocket, Four Boys Racing Supplies, FK Ride-Ins, Tim Haddle Trucking, S&D Transport, Wilson Motorsports on the S21 of Seth Daniels, and the 28 of Dennis Erb Jr., Lomac Truck Sales, McBride Mac, 5-Star Stock Bodies, Riverton Party Store, Kaiser Manufacturing, Fox Shocks, all sponsors on the Clements Powered Rocket for Dennis Erb Jr., former Dirt Late Model Dream winner.
They're gunning for Kyle Bronson's quick lap of 1.6334 here in Group B. Younghands' first trip around is 18th quick with a 17.101. Seth Daniels on lap number 1, 24th, and Dennis Erb Jr. will be 21st. Seth Daniels kind of a Jeep Van Wormer type look.
It does.
The 21 there, the black and the purple and the yellow. Lap number 2, Chase Younghands, 18th, little better, stays 18th, though 17.039. Lap number 2, as Dennis Erb Jr. has caught Seth Daniels. We'll see if DEJ gets another lap. Daniels will be 25th with a 17.787. Dennis Erb Jr., as it stands right now, is 21st with a 17.387. 27 drivers in to Group B, and it's Kyle Bronson, Nick Hoffman, Brian Shirley right now, the top 3.
See Hocevar down there. He'll get 1 lap on the tail after apparently a deck height infraction. Looks like, see if we can get a word, if Dennis Earp Jr. is going to get another lap. Dennis feels that way, so let's find out, as I think they're going to get him wound up. Officials saying he was impeded on his 2nd lap by Seth Daniels, so he'll get 1 more lap, and then we got a handful of qualifiers left to go in Sunoco Racefield's qualifying Group B, where it's Kyle Bronson atop the leaderboard, 16.334. 1 last lap for Dennis Earp.
Dennis Earp currently 21st. His best lap was a 17.387. The former Dirt Late Model Dream winner out of Carpentersville, Illinois. Going to get another lap to him as the 2022 World of Outlaws champ comes off corner number 4. His 2nd lap, or 3rd lap, I guess you could call it, just a tick better. He'll be 19th as they stand right now. His best lap time is a 17.147. So, Ben, 27 drivers have attempted a lap. We have roughly 15 drivers left in Sunoco Racefield Time Trials Group B.
Up next, it'll be Hot Rod Conley out of Wheelersburg, Ohio, in the 71R. A smooth operator, Bobby Pierce out of Oakwood, Illinois, in the 32, and the 8 of Kyle Strickler, the high side tickler out of Mooresville, North Carolina. So Rod Conley, the Conway River Terminal, Conley Trucking, Afterburner Performance, Valvoline, drain-powered rocket chassis number 71R, the 32. Bobby Pierce, 11 wins on the year, defending World of Outlaws and FloRacing Night in America champion, Low Voltage Solutions, Churchill Transport, Collins Brothers Towing, Rio Grande Waste Services, the Sea Valley Transportation, Vic Hill Powered Longhorn, current Outlaw point leader Bobby Pierce, and Kyle Strickler out of Mooresville, North Carolina, American Bolt Manufacturing, G-Style Transport, CAD Industries, Donaldson Grading Company, WL Marion Plumbing, 8K Race Car.
Rod Conley 22nd, Bobby Pierce 25th, and now Kyle Strickler 25th. Boy, these heats are going to be interesting here this evening. Lap 2 for the 2nd generation driver, Hot Rod Conley, 22nd, best lap 17.513. What's Pierce got on lap 2? A little better, 20th, 17.154, and Kyle Strickler's 2nd lap, he is 26th. His best lap is a 17.608. After 30 cars, it's still Kyle Bronson, the time to beat, 1.6334.
Up next, it's going to be the 93 of Carson Ferguson out of Lincolnton, North Carolina, the 93, the 13 of Casey Burdett out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, and Mike Hildebrand, the 39, out of Loveland, Ohio. Carson Ferguson, the Paywar Motorsports, Hoopall Grading Company, Coleman Farms Racing, Buddy's Wrecker Service, Mattman Designs, Bilstein High-Tech Special Effects, Solidified Concrete, Floor Solutions, Cornet Powered Longhorn for Carson Ferguson. The 13 of Casey Burdett, the DRT Race Car, Vic Hill Powered Arizona Sports Shirts, Hawk Farms, Realtor Steve Shaver, Collins Brothers Towing, Poske's Lowry's Wrecker Service per 13. 1 win this year for Casey Burdett, and that came in a modded Skyline. And Mike Hildebrand in car 39 out of Goshen, Ohio, the Victory Land title, EXP Realty, Naylor Electric, Vic Hill Powered Longhorn.
So first lap time will go up for Carson Ferguson. He's 23rd, 1.7485. KC Burnett. How about Steve Shaver jumping on board, by the way? The Realtor Steve Shaver. He is 31st, and Mike Hildebrand, the former Moeller Raceway Park Track champion, is 32nd. Lap number 2 for the 93 of Carson Ferguson, a little better, 23rd, 1.7430. Lap 2 for KC Burdett. He's been here before in a mod, by the way, 17.927. He's 32nd, and Mike Hildebrand will be 29th. His best lap, 17.741. 33 drivers into Sunoco Racefield's Time Trials Group B, and it's all Kyle Bronson. His quick lap of 1.6334 is still the time to beat.
Coming up next, it'll be the Jedi, Jerry Bowersock out of Wapakoneta, Ohio, the Clements Powered Rocket Chassis. There's Chris Smokey Madden taking a look at the race car. The North Star Drilling LCD Partnership, TB Tile, Frenchtown Trailer Sales, Best Performance Motorsports, Clements Powered Rocket for Bowersock, who picked up that highly popular win with American Late Model Series over at Atomic Speedway back in May. And the 45 of Kyle Hammer out of Clinton, Illinois, the Hammer Crypto Hub, Equip, Link, Auction Service, that's a tough one. Elite Contracting Services, Pee-wee's Wrecker Service, not as hard. The Durham Powered Longhorn for Kyle Hammer. 2 wins this year, both at Farmer City Raceway, and then also the set the 23 of Joe Chalmers, Racing Tires and Accessories, K&J Designs, Shock Squad Electrical, Modco Powered Rocket Chassis for Joe Chalmers out of Perth, Western Australia.
Jerry Bowersock goes 30th, Kyle Hammer 31st, Joe Chalmers 35th on lap number 1. Track certainly seems to be slowing down a little bit, as has been throughout the course of this second group. Just as we say that, Bowersock jumps up about 10 spots to 22nd, 1.7301. Hammer jumps up to 24th with a 17.391. And Joe Chalmers The Australian standout, he will stay 35th. His best lap was a 1:8.072. 36 drivers in. Ben, we have got, I believe, six drivers left in Group B. And we're going to have 4 drivers left. I think they're all a bunch of one-lappers as well as we try to wrap up Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group B.
Tyler Bruning, the Skyline Motorsports Quick Supply Company, Truck Country, Bruning Rock Products, Brown's Heavy Equipment, Olson Explosives, Clements Powered Longhorn at number 16. And the 51 car of Tyler Urban in New Waverly, Texas. Best Performance Motorsports, Langenfelter Mechanical Contractors, First Class Septic, Anthony's Pizza, Coles County Speedway, Roberts Speed Company, and Barrett's, all sponsors on the Clements Powered Rocket. 3 wins this year for Tyler Urban, 3rd in the Outlaw standings. And join him on the Speedway, Carson Hocevar in the right, the Dente Chili's, Spire Motorsports, Ziggurat Group, Gainbridge, Delaware Life, FloRacing, Cornet, Powered Longhorn for Carson Hocevar.
And you can ride along with the Dente in the lower right-hand part of the screen as we've got James's quadruple box up there for you. Bruning, 27th quick on lap number 1. Lap 1 for Rowdier is going to be 25th, 17.403, and Hocevar, 38th his first time around. And that might be... Oh, that's right. They only get 1 lap. Goodness, how quickly I forget. There you go.
All right, final qualifier of the night will be the number 10 car of Garrett Smith out of Madison, Georgia. Defending Spring Nationals champion, current Southern Schaefer's Oil Spring Nationals points leader, and the Atlanta Paving and Concrete Mossy Pond Chase Concrete coach and trailer. It's got Chase Motorsports coach and trailer play again, not concrete. The world famous Cadillac Ranch, VP Racing Fields, Boswell Oil, Vic Hill Powered Longhorn for Garrett Smith. 1 win this year, 1 lap, final qualifier of the night.
Garrett Smith.
Hang on to it.
Hang on to it, absolutely. You mentioned that 1 win. It came at Thunder Hill, Tennessee a little earlier this season. As the driver of the world famous Cadillac Ranch number 10, former dirt track world champion, comes off corner number 4. And his only lap is going to be 27th quick with a 1:7.481. And that is a wrap on Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials here this evening. The quickest driver in Group B is going to be Kyle Bronson with a 1:6.334. Nick Hoffman 2nd, Brian Shirley 3rd. And as long as those drivers make their way into the Longacre Racing Products Tech and Scale area, they will lead the field to the green in heat races 4, 5, and 6. Joining them on the front row will be Ricky Thornton Jr., Aaron Morey, and Chris Madden. Then was Devin Moran, Mason Ziegler, Eli Johnson, and Hudson O'Neill rounding out the top 10 in Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials Group B. Max Blair was the quickest overall with a 15.495. The driver that was the quickest in Group B is with our very own Mike Norris.
Yeah, we caught up with Kyle Bronson. Kyle, I tell you, there is a ton of good cars here, and especially in Group number 2. You did your best. You're going to start up front, and we'll see if the 40B can keep it up front.
Yeah, this Bohemian Orange is pretty fast right out the box here, so, looking forward to it. I felt like our car was pretty good there, and our first lap we kind of missed the back straightaway, the moisture line a little bit, so I felt like I knew it wasn't going to be as good entering on top of 1 there, but I was able to let me run a lot lower down the back straightaway, so felt like we made a lot of time up there, so I guess we're about to go ahead and go down to the concession stand and get me a Coca-Cola and a hot dog and go racing a heat race here.
Well, there you what, Gary Go Race. He's got a great plan since 2018. He's made every dirt late model dream, and he's looking for a big win this weekend. It'll be a 2nd win with the FloRacing Night in America. Of course, his other came at Sonoya. Kyle Bronson, fastest in Group 2.
I'm so glad that he got the hot dog reference in there, Mike Norris, as that is a wrap on Sunoco Race Fuels Time Trials here this evening. We are going to step aside for a quick set of commercial breaks. They're going to dress up the racetrack for just a little bit, and we will have opening ceremonies in just a little bit. You are watching FloRacing Night in America live from Eldora Speedway.
MD3, the most advanced body panels on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. MD3, the #1 body choice for top dirt racers.
Rocket Chassis, the winningest name in dirt late model racing. From the red clay of the south to the slick tracks up north. When victory is on the line, champions choose Rocket Chassis. Born in